So, it's been a couple of weeks. Let me hit us with a bit of a refresher here.
Gun.
Because, gun.
Scythe.
It was very little gun, actually.
It was one gun.
Brief refresher. It was one gun.
It really had its moment,
Yeah,
though.
that's true. The one gun gunned very hard.
It did.
Our adventures throughout Korvosa so far in this past, what may very well to the group of you feel like it's been weeks, but has truly only been a handful of days. We have become deeply intertwined in the city's woes. After the fall of King Aedrid, to what recent news sounds like may have been a planned assassination. A group of you have joined up alongside the Korvosan Guard to attempt not so much to bring order back to the city as to stop it from falling yet further into madness and anarchy. This is a challenging task, to be certain, and one that even now, as we come back in this week, seems near hopeless, almost. You can see the city once again slipping away before you, the riots forming in the streets. Civilization at risk again of falling apart as it has just a couple of days ago on the night of the king's death. You've done what you can. Most recently, you came back from Eel's End on a perhaps unsavory, clandestine mission, well, by all accounts, collecting blackmail against a rightfully appointed ambassador to Cheliax. But to prevent war, perhaps, between the two nations, to prevent another problem from besieging Korvosa.
It's the evil empire's ambassador. I don't feel too bad about it.
I already miss manly powers.
I don't even understand what we're doing, honestly.
As long as I get the bed things, I don't really don't
Saving
care.
the city. John, double homicide and pillage.
Come, John, we're saving the queen.
At a time.
We're saving the city. We have brought back a defector, a sergeant from the guard who took a squad of his men with him as he left to go commit vigilantism or whatever it was he was determined to do throughout the city.
He even brought back both his men, but most of his men.
You brought back all of his men. Most of them were even alive.
The ones that John didn't get a hold of.
Yeah.
But now, word through the streets is that the investigation into the king's death has finally found the culprit, an assassin, an artist, a young woman by the name of Fontaine who seems to have disappeared, understandably, into the madness of the city. And the mobs, very much fans of the old king, or at least very much not of the new Queen Iliosa, have taken back to the streets once more. This time not sieging towards the castle, but hunting through the streets for their prey.
And it definitely beats another day of work at the docks.
Don't it just?
There's only so much work to do down at the docks. Even as things have started to come somewhat back together, the imports coming into the city, the exports leaving, are still just a small fraction of what they were before the passing of King Aedrid. It's certainly not the choked trickle that it was in the ensuing day or two. But still not much. Many of these beleaguered dock workers have little to do and are seeing their livelihoods and perhaps the well-being of themselves and their families disappearing before them. And this, if they could capture this assassin and not make things better, but boy, it'll sure make them feel a little better.
They can just join the guard.
A group of you have made your way back to Citadel Bolshevik after not just successfully collecting this blackmail for the King of Spiders in the Eel's End, but then also committing some shooty bang of your own against a very large sewer creature that had erupted up through the cobblestones
into the wrong frickin' neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Boy.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Boy.
I bet you're wondering how I got myself into this position.
Bet you're wondering how I got here.
But you have already reported in.
Shame.
You have reported into Field Marshal Croft. Clearly exhausted as she is, returning back to a nearly abandoned citadel as the guards have once again had to move in near all fours to the streets. The group of you have been left, at least for now, to rest. And you too, I'd imagine, are quite fatigued, as it's fairly late in the night. Your operation didn't start really until sundown. You were there for some hours and then blew an Otyugh apart on your way home. So it's
Just
been
passing by.
Dude,
not a
that's
problem.
what heroes do.
that's what heroes do.
They don't go. We don't go in the sewer. They don't come on the streets.
That's right.
That's the deal.
That's the deal, man. They broke the deal.
I think it's really funny because it's not going to come up again. Literally, all of you that tried totally failed your knowledge checks to know what the heck an Otyugh is. I think it's hilarious that they're there on purpose. Like they are the sewage treatment plant of Korvosa is just Otyughs that are in the sewer.
What?
What?
That's what they do.
It
They
makes sense.
treat sewage. They eat garbage and like what? They piss out clean water. Is that how that works?
No, they
Piss out
literally-
less clean water
That
or
doesn't
less
make
dirty
any
water than they
sense.
consumed. So they
Filth is what they sustain themselves on.
Thought that was you.
and they
Exactly.
they don't so much dispose of it per se, so much as they keep it moving and they prevent blockages
Just say it's-
because they travel through the sewers in search of the delicious poo and they don't want it to get stopped.
It's better than it just sitting in the sewer being dumped into the river. So
They're helping.
Okay.
I think it's just absolutely a hilarious fantasy solution to a problem.
I was like,
How do we deal with all this sewage when we haven't really invented plumbing and aqueducts yet? Poop-eating monsters! Poop-eating monsters everywhere!
gelatinous cubes.
The problem is your average citizen just gets eaten.
Don't go in the sewers.
Don't go in the sewers.
Don't go in the sewers.
Agreement.
Came on the street.
I mean, the modern day, remember you have those videos of like a drunk guy just like walking past the caution tape and falling into an open sewer. I mean,
Just don't go in that
Otyugh
house.
got him.
Otyugh got him, right?
Make a real good episode of Dirty Jobs, I'm sure. Micro's gonna go down with a big toothbrush and scrub down the Otyughs.
I would watch it.
Like him.
Yeah, okay.
Jeez. Bring your fiery rain upon these.
Man, you guys gotta focus.
There is no
We are
focus.
focused.
This is
Focused on the
probably, I
Otyugh.
imagine, the state of mind we're in, having been up for so long and having put so much energy into the day as we head down from Field Marshal Croft's office. Finally left to our own devices for the evening.
Are you as tired as I am?
I reckon I got to rest pretty well, but it is definitely getting late. There's interest in watching I'll run around on the docks, though.
I'm glad that the sound of the riots doesn't come all the way in here.
God, those women could talk and eat.
All right, then, well then that's I'm going to bed. I'm done with this conversation already.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and nap in the chimney now.
The chimney tonight? I thought you said
God.
it was the
We
garbage
should
can
go to
out back
bed.
tonight.
Goodbye.
No.
I need the heat.
Just sprawl. Just doesn't even take anything off. Boots still on the bed.
I am totally
Pass
taking
out.
stuff off. Everything is gross and I want to touch it never again. It is getting burned.
The two sides of exhaustion. I want all of this off of me and plank.
Yeah, he wasn't in the brothel.
That's not how you get exhaustion. That's trench foot waiting to happen. On his whole body.
You're not wearing your armor because you had decided not to bring your
Yeah, it's true.
scale mail because you didn't want to bring your
No. I totally did bring my armor. Yeah.
No, he
Sable
did.
company gear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's covered.
Good. That I didn't bring it the first time I went down.
Oh, right. You brought it a second.
Brought it the second time. Yeah.
Well, just face planting in bed there. I would assume, again, it was 2 weeks ago this because we had to miss an episode, that one of you would have stopped down at the wizard's office on the bottom floor just to send him up to the field marshals as she'd requested.
Yeah.
which-
Oh yeah, which you requested
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Yeah, which you
Sorry,
requested
I forgot
2
about
weeks
that.
ago, 30 seconds ago in game, but 2 weeks ago for us because of the technical issues.
That's
last
how
week.
tired we are.
Yeah.
The 2-week lag.
But with that, you would all be able to collapse into a very well-earned rest. The next morning, or perhaps a little later, maybe, than what would traditionally be the next morning. I imagine that without some incredible determination and powerful levels of self-control, the group of you would probably awaken sometime after the sun has already started to climb. I was thinking you're not getting to sleep until it'll be like 1 or 2 in the morning here.
9 a.m. is about the earliest I'm waking up.
I
That's
wake
fair.
up with the sun.
Side,
That rhythm already in it. You do it for 20-something years. That's just how it is.
And I'm gonna say sleep deprivation is not necessarily a new thing.
No.
I kind of
guess
have.
we-
I can tell you from personal experience, I can go to bed at 4 in the morning. I'll still wake up around 9.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Well,
I'm a stone
maybe
druid.
just a little bit later than usual then. Everyone but John.
I get up with the sun too. I have to. It's part of my.
They started the
That's
fire.
fair.
It's
That's
part of my
fair.
ritual.
That's
Now
fair.
they started the fire and it woke him up.
He's in the chimney, yeah.
It smokes him out. It's a
It's part of his religious ceremony every morning. Getting almost burned to death.
The group of you awaken and maybe still feeling a little bit of the weight of yesterday's adventures on you, going through the motions of your morning. Field Marshal Croft, after you'd report into her and you'd seen the state of the city on your way down here that previous evening, had asked if you were still willing to return to her when you were rested and when you were ready. If you still wished to give more for the city of Korvosa.
Wait, so like, didn't we get conscripted?
We got asked.
You've never been conscripted. You
We didn't
you
take a
were
pledge or anything.
offered. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
offered by the queen directly, and I mean, perhaps being asked by the queen and conscripted may well be the same thing, especially in Darren's mind.
Right.
I'm actually gonna go there, like the first thing when I wake up, like as soon as like she is awake and I can get in to see her.
Alone, or you did all come here together. You have been.
Like if you guys
Conscripted,
want to come
perhaps,
with
together.
me,
I mean, given that Darren's waking up early, I imagine I'll be up and about and ready to go at that time. But I mean, like, if you want us to be with you, Darren's available.
if you will all see me and I will say I am going to her office. I am done with this off vigilante stuff. We're either going to be official or we're not doing anything else.
We're about as official as we're going to get.
Wait, yeah, that was really official, actually.
No, it really wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't above
We're little
board.
like look at these little things.
I mean, I definitely say we're official. He just reaches into his mouth and pulls out the badge. See,
Nobody
I got the badge. to prove
Nobody
it.
takes this seriously.
Huh?
Who doesn't take this seriously?
What are you talking
Pretty much
about?
no one we've run into thus far.
We literally were able to, like, beat people up, tie them up, and carry them across the city because of those things.
We could have done that anyway.
I mean, he's got a point.
Well, the difference is you don't got to lie about what you're doing when you got one of these little badges. Because you'd have to see your bounty hunter turning in some bounties, or they're criminals you're
What I'm saying is we don't have rank.
That doesn't matter to me.
That ain't true, actually.
I mean,
We have the highest rank in here except for the field marshal, because no one can tell us what to do by her.
It's a good point, actually.
I mean,
I never
enjoyed
figured
it.
you for an army man, though. You want to join up?
What I'm saying is we're not in the line of command, which means we have no particular structure, which means literally anyone she can disavow us at any time and say she doesn't know us, and there's really nothing we can do about it because there's no record of us really existing.
Well, I mean,
And
like,
that's a
she can
problem?
fire us, I guess, if we do a bad job. But, I
Well,
mean,
That's all-
why would she do that?
Well, as a stone druid looking kind of... Wouldn't you prefer that?
No, I like order, and I like knowing where I stand in the scheme of things, and I like knowing who I report to and who reports to me and
Well,
what is happening.
I can answer 2 of those real quick. We report to the field marshal. No one reports to us. Technically, the third one's nothing's happening. We're talking to the field marshal here in about 15 minutes. But as far as the other 2, I'm not sure yet.
I get it. I feel weird doing the stuff that we're doing and still kind of feeling unofficial. Like if something happened and we got caught, no one would have our backs because we're not really part of the army. We're not part of the group.
We're deputy
We're-
guards. We're technically part of
We're
it.
deputies.
Are you like asking for a retirement package or something? I don't.
No, but like, don't you want to like be official? Like,
No.
No.
Okay.
I am official.
I mean, not really.
By the way,
How much more
Floblin,
official do you get? Literally,
I don't want this to be
the
my
marshal
everyday job.
asks us to do jobs for the good of the city and then pays us a salary for doing it.
that's called a mercenary.
by
I
the
thought we were asked by the Queen.
No, that's not called a merc. That's how soldiers work.
The Queen asked us.
No,
the
soldiers
field
get a
marshal
salary.
pays us.
That's the same word I used.
And at this point, I imagine you guys, as you're all here, are
Just
walking
walking
towards,
that
keep making
way.
way up the stairs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
arrive outside Field Marshal Croft's office and hear the voice of one of the officers that you would have seen around, one of the other high-ranking men here, in her office already, speaking with her. His tone is strangely stern, and I mean, especially Daryl, with the understanding of a chain of command. Darren, sorry, a new chain of command and things. My brain keeps going Darren Copperbell and just Daryl. Smashing them
It's the
together.
Sure, that sounds. I'll buy it.
No, man.
It's the crossbow he always has.
No, Daryl works at Chuck E. Cheese.
Anyways,
Darren is a hero.
But as you come around, the door to her office is open, as it always is. And the group you can see, the officer will be standing before his desk, hands folded before him, not any official attention or anything, with another of the high-ranking stewards, as well as one of the squires with him. As the group you come to the door, Field Marshal Croft kind of looks past him and sees you. He turns around and sees the group of you as well. Oh, I dare say you have other business then. And Croft, has her hands planted up on her desk, pretty decent bags under her eyes. You're not convinced she has slept through the night. In fact, it appears all but apparent that she hasn't. Find them. They're dismissed. And he stands up, shakes his head. Don't believe you give that order anymore. Come then. Motions to the steward and the squire as they turn, and he just nods to the group of you as he makes his way through the doorway and back the way you came, towards the stairs out of the keep.
Guys, seen this guy before?
You would have seen him around. He is one of the higher-ranking officers of the guard. You wouldn't know him personally. He probably wouldn't even have a name. Definitely would not be someone that you interact with.
Okay.
This was a
What was that
pleasant
all
night.
about, Marshall?
Close the door behind you.
Walk on in, close the door.
All right. She sits down in her chair, kind of like stares at the desk in front of her. So, first of all, you look like hell. Did you even sleep?
A bit. Not exactly enough, but enough to. We're here.
I mean, I feel fine.
You doubtless heard the stories that the King's Killer has been named. I'm sure. You came back to the streets last night about when everything was starting to break out. There's something more going on here, I think. Queen Iliosa could have easily had this Fontaine woman arrested. She could have done it quietly, had her taken into custody without anything breaking out. But the way this rumor was leaked,
It'd put
Something-
people at ease if someone was called out to be the culprit and put to justice.
they could have done that once they already had her in custody.
Feels like a distraction to me.
Distraction?
If you want to not have people focusing on what you're doing, you accuse somebody else and focus everyone's attention on what they're
What it
doing.
seems to me is that this girl doesn't stand a snowball's chance in the 9 hells of standing a fair trial. If these lynch mobs roaming through the streets find her, she won't make it out alive.
Well, yeah, we can't have that. I mean, she has to answer for their crime.
I don't know.
Exactly. Regardless of what the truth is, whether or not she has killed the king, whether or not she's responsible for everything that's happened
Do you have
here.
doubts of what? Was this an official proclamation or a rumor that was leaked out of the castle?
Honestly, I'm still unsure.
I have doubts.
The castle stance at this point, it has been confirmed, but as to its origins, I couldn't tell you. Regardless of what happened, mob justice is not the way. Imagine even the smallest chance that Fontaine is innocent. The mob has their bloody justice. They catch her. Not only is an innocent life lost, the king's killer is given free reign. There's no way that'll ever be brought to proper justice for this.
Well,
He could use this distraction to throw us off the trail forever.
I do notice that the Hell Knights were out looking for this Fontaine woman as well, walking around with sketches and whatnot.
Insane. I, frankly, I beyond understanding of why the Order of the Nail has gotten involved in this directly. They don't answer to us. They don't even answer to Queen Iliosa. The Hell Knights, the Order of the Nail, they are an independent organization. They report to House Thrune.
It is odd to have them effectively being a standing army inside of our city.
Well, it is an agreement between the city of Korvosa, Regency, and Cheliax. It is perhaps one of the concessions that had to be made to prevent Cheliax from immediately trying to return after we had claimed their independence. Those generations passed. It's an occasionally awkward price to pay, to be certain, but usually one that doesn't make much of a difference. I suppose Cheliax has as much of a vested interest in a stable Korvosa as we do. I would perhaps explain the Hell Knight's interests, but they're an organization dedicated exclusively and entirely to law and order, to justice.
Well, then
Fortunately-
apprehending the accused killer at least, would make sense.
Should they find her, they're outnumbered by the mob 100 to 1.
Sure.
Here's the problem. We need to ensure Fontaine sees a fair trial, that she sees safe custody. And that means we have to find her before the mob does. And honestly, I can't even be certain of the Order of the Nail's motives. I'd say we need to find her before they do too.
Well, what do we know about her?
I have her last known address.
She's an artist.
Well,
Does anyone else have this address?
I'm certain that the Queen and the Royal Guard and perhaps the officers of the Sable Company, if she's contacted them, would as well. I don't know if it's something she'd provide to the Hell Knights. And it's certainly not something they'd easily allow the mob to get their hands on, I'd like to believe. But seeing as it became public knowledge of her identity in the first place, I think it's only a matter of time before her domicile is completely besieged, whether or not she's even still there.
Well, we'll want to be quick then.
when-
Go on.
well, when did she get the commission? When did she get into the castle?
This was, as far as I can tell, from what I've learned, this commission was about 2 months prior. She had the completion of the commission anyway. She'd been making fairly regular visits to Castle Korvosa for weeks before that, working on the portrait. It, of course, was a work of some time. It's not something simply committed to canvas in a day. She had myriad avenues of free access to the king. It's entirely possible and perhaps even reasonable that
But she
she is in
killed.
fact guilty, but
But she killed the king 2 months ago, and he was still alive a couple of nights ago.
No.
she could have had the access to organize any one of a great number of things.
Something that would come out in the trial and the investigation. I assume that probably there's plenty of other assets of the guard who are investigating, looking for her as well.
But why?
What is, as she looks back down, kind of wringing her hands on top her desk. Queen Ilios is not satisfied with what the Korvosan Guard's been doing to address the situation. And she's preparing to disband Sable Company entirely and replace it with a newly formed order from the Royal Guard.
But,
Sounds about right.
well, no, she doesn't have that authority.
She does.
She's the queen.
The Queen's will is absolute. The throne is hers.
You should know this.
She has the final word. She No checks to her power in Korvosa. If she wishes to see the Sable Company or even the Korvosan Guard disbanded and removed from the city, a simple command would have it done.
Strange that the general would allow it.
The general has no say in it. He reports directly to the throne, as do I.
So what does that mean for you?
For now, it means that time may very well be precious.
Listen.
Well, since time's precious, you want us to go to that address, see if she's still there. And if she is, just put her in a bag and bring her back. I assume we don't want people seeing her face.
Are
The
the
only-
courts still even in function right now?
That's something that we can handle in the coming days. As long as she's safe and protected for now.
I think the most important
all
thing
that
is just finding her and stopping them all from having her. So what is this address at?
42 Moon Street.
What
It's
does
near the north end of the Midland District, almost up towards
He's got it.
the Five Corners, just to the southeast of the University District reaches.
I'm pretty familiar with that place. I reckon I can find it.
We'll find it.
It is not a ground level address. It is a few. Her domicile is a few tiers above the street number.
Oh, it's that far north.
That won't be a problem.
Well, it's that far up. She's reported to have a small tenement in the Shingles up above. These places can be difficult and awkward to reach. Sometimes there's proper access through stairs or ladders, but the Shingles themselves are reckless and haphazard. I don't know if any of you have ever had business up above, that far beyond the streets.
Not as such.
It means that it may be almost impossible to reach her residence without passing through several others.
We could work something
necessarily.
out. We might be able to travel along the roofs and get to him that way.
Now, while this is very much an urgent case for a variety of reasons, don't fear for the Citadel or me. I have still a fair number of Korvosan guards that are loyal to me, but as she gestures to the closed door behind you, as you saw, the situation is tense on some fronts.
Maybe we shouldn't bring her back here then.
Yeah, here's the safest place we could bring her.
I disagree.
I have no better place to put her into protective custody. The Citadel is still under my command, and I have
Okay.
no fear that that's going to change in the near future.
Okay.
But I can't think of a safer place in all the city than here. That said, if
Well, the castle, but
Actually, I was thinking Neil's End.
No.
No, I don't
Absolutely
really want to
not.
go back there.
hey, remember that whole thing about if there's a criminal, they are immediately given up?
if you can see her back to me, I still believe this is the safest place we can harbor her, but I
Yeah.
suppose we can discuss that then.
If she's there, we'll get her back to here in one piece.
There's little I can do to leave here. I have to work to keep problems on this home front from getting any worse. And if I sent any of my guards, any properly uniformed, traditionally ordained guards into Midland, these riots, I fear, will get much worse. Most of what I have still loyal to me are deployed in defense of Castle Korvosa and around the checkpoints on the outside of the Midland District, up in Five Corners towards the North Bridge. I'm trying to ensure that this doesn't spread, but I fear for pushing armor into the district or around her domicile itself.
See, all that talk about you wanting to be an official guard member and whatnot, but if we went out there dressed up the part, it'd just make things worse.
You don't have to dress up as the part. We just
If
have
you're an
to be.
official guard, you gotta dress the part.
Because the uniform, he has to put it on.
If
John
you're
knows
just a
about
little-
uniforms.
I wouldn't mind a
If you're
uniform.
just a class 3 citizen with a fancy badge, you can carry a gun around.
I'm pretty sure if you're a regular citizen, you can carry a gun around.
Yeah, but I have a fancy badge.
Her home isn't terribly far from the Alabaster University itself, and while it's closed, I have a couple of men that are loyal to me stationed nearby. If you can deliver her to them, they'll see her safely shepherded back here.
That shouldn't be too difficult.
That'll be helpful.
Get in there, find Fontaine, and don't let her fall into the hands of the mob, or the Hell Knights, or the Queen's Guard.
Sounds like we're affecting the whole city at that point.
Not fighting, avoiding.
I'm not saying this job is going to be easy, but I need, well, exactly you. And again, your actions so far in service of Korvosa have been beyond impressive. What you've been able to accomplish in these last few days has been certainly as helpful as anybody else I have reporting to me, if not more so. You've impressed me time and time again, and I've no doubt you'll do it once more.
We're all gonna die, but I suppose you have to die sometime.
Courage now. It's fine. We just find her,
Oh,
who's
I'm
been
not-
hiding from everything,
I'm not-
grab her, dodge the entire military force and citizenry of the city, and deliver her safely just to the Alabaster Academy.
Darren, I'm not scared of dying.
Put it that way, it sounds fairly simple.
I
It's
have
incredibly
a
simple, actually.
tombstone. I have a stone tomb waiting for me.
You know what? If you
it's
do
really
die,
pretty.
I'll deliver you there.
Thanks.
I don't imagine that I would hope any of this should cause for arms, but if you have to fend off the mob, the only way I see this getting better is if Fontaine is given proper trial and we know truly if she is or is not responsible.
Yeah, of course.
That is your priority. I hate to say this, but do what you must.
It's a line of duty.
We always do.
No, I'm afraid that given my even lesser resources than normal, there's near nothing I can provide you save this address and advice.
We still have access to the quartermaster's office, right?
Well, if we had access to a quartermaster. I'm afraid there's not anything I'll be able to really provide for you. But what is it that you need? I'll see if I can organize it personally.
If we're going to be going into the Shingles, well, it's a bit of Sable Company kit, so I'm not sure if he'd have it anyway. But it's a climbing bolt. You can has a line attached to it. It's a great starter to get up to a higher area.
Grappling hooks?
You mean like these?
I don't actually have those.
I do.
Huh?
I climb. I cliff climb.
Honestly, I'm not surprised that the Rock Man has rock.
It does make sense, actually. Yeah.
Makes a lot of
It-
sense.
it's-
actually.
We'll use that then. That's
It's
perfectly
a hobby
fine.
of mine. I'm very, very good.
Hobby of yours is climbing rocks. Yeah, that would make sense to me, actually. Yeah.
Also,
I'd
talking
like
to
to
him.
imagine that the apartment of an artist isn't going to be this difficult to access. But whenever it's more than one tier up into the upper reaches, into the Shingles, and this is one of the places outside Old Korvosa they're stacked the densest. I honestly have no idea what to expect of her address. I've gotten basically no reports on the ground of the organization, as again, I can't send guards into the area.
It'll be fine.
Well, come on. There's going to be climbing. This is going to be fun.
Well, first we got to get Globlin some food. I can hear his stomach growling.
Every minute that we delay is another minute the mob has to find her, but if they haven't routed her out overnight, delay for preparations is quite possibly for the best.
Do you have a silver knife?
Silver knife? Perhaps in the armory. I'll send and see what I can find.
If you wouldn't mind.
If anything, I'll have it sent down to your quarters in the barracks.
Thank you.
Darren's afraid of fairies.
As we're walking out, you really act a whole lot like your fate's been set in stone. Don't you?
I get that.
I
That was
don't.
a terrible joke.
I know it was, but I couldn't help it.
I'm confused. Why would my face be in stone?
All right, Svalin, let's
Your
go
fate,
get
not
you
your
some
face.
bread or something.
But why would
something
my
quick.
faith be in
Preferably,
stone? It's in a
yeah.
card.
Something
It's
quick.
right here.
You're talking
Be
about
quick.
having
I need
a
roll.
gravestone, a tomb set out for you already.
I have a family at the tomb. They're all there.
So it's a good if you make your way back down the stairs now to keep you can take the art off. You spread out to go get some food, to get some supplies. Some 10 minutes later, a silver short sword would be delivered
Oh, there
That'll
you
work.
go.
to your barracks by a guard that you would have recognized, one of the ones that would have been staffed here near the whole time, the one who would have brought you to meet with the field marshal in the first place. He would have found you there, delivered it quickly in a simple scabbard that kind of conceals its impressive nature. The whole of the blade treated with alchemical silver.
Perfect. Ha! Imp's gonna jump us. They'll be in for a surprise.
I would change into some different gear. If I'm gonna climb, I want to get rid of anything that pokes out, just very, very slim.
Well, the shingles aren't like Yeah, you're probably gonna have to free climb the side of a building to access somebody's
He's never
apartment.
seen them
What?
before. So how does he know?
I mean, you would have. You would have definitely walked under and through them. Like anytime you're in like the northern half of the city, it's you have your storefronts and your residences and everything on the bottom level, and then very much traditional masonry and buildings. And kind of as it goes up, they have clearly just much like the buildings on the decks of the barges at Eel's End, just sort of built more on top of them. On buildings that certainly weren't ever intended or designed to go up that high. And the more that this layered up, the more kind of haphazard and ramshackle.
Who needs
it
zoning?
gets.
But we're also trying to be sneaky. So I'm also trying to wear dark clothes.
It is broad daylight.
Just be sneaky.
But I don't want to wear my cloak. People will recognize me.
I don't think anyone knows who you are, or who any of us are, really.
I mean, if I could sneak, I'm pretty sure
People might know who Floblin
I'm
is.
leaving the shield.
Let's get out of here.
You'll get used it someday, I promise.
I'm leaving the shield.
Someday you'll get a mission that's don't be identifiable as a Korvosa.
Tuck it. I tuck it into the bunk and just pat it. Say sleep. It's okay.
One day.
One day.
But today's
So,
not that day.
Definitely bringing the badge along. Definitely not wearing it.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a good idea.
I keep mine in my stomach for now.
Ugh.
There you go. Here's some
Goblin
proof.
pocket. But is there any other preparation?
I grab
No.
all the
I
weapons.
think we're good.
While we got 10 minutes, I'll put another suppressor on the rifle.
Preparations? Giant clay silencer on the end of my humongous cannon.
It's very tight threads. I'm spinning that for a while.
Fair enough. But getting that set up, the group of you head out,
It's just a vase over the end of the gun.
making your way up. Pretty much is, yeah. Making your way up through much of the Midland District towards the Five Corners. And as you make your way, you would see that things have not really changed from last night. The torches are gone on account of the daylight, for the most part, and the numbers moving through the streets may not necessarily be lesser in total, but it's less of a tight mob. It's more, it almost looks like roaming gangs just making their way through these streets. Whatever weapons they could gather in hand. Some of them knocking door to door, checking for things. Some of them asking around. Some of them just lurking on street corners, watching passersby. You would not see any Hell Knights as you made your way up to the address. But once you arrive at the northern end of the district, a few blocks away from Five Corners and from the university section, an address exists for a reason. It's fairly easy to reach. Ironically, the torches do kind of come back out in this area of the city, as the daylight doesn't easily reach the street level here. This is one of the densest sections of the Shingles in the city, up kind of in this upper third of Korvosa, where it sprawls out east from University, up towards the main road that connects the North Bridge, but not quite crossing it. This massive, densely built, overlapping pile of jury-rigged catwalks, overhanging roofs, and homemade bridges of rope and boards, ramshackle connecting all these upper levels, near blotting out all of the sunlight as these tower up, stories and stories overhead. The Shingles above, the true heart of the Shingles, is an absolute maze, a rat's nest. Who needs zoning laws? Indeed. But 42 Moon Street would lead you to the address of a small little coffee shop on the ground floor. And according to your directions, Fontaine's apartment is somewhere up above this.
Oh, okay.
I reckon we could just walk inside and ask if they got a way to go up.
I
Fine
don't
by
think
me.
we should ask anything.
Push
We
the
gotta
door
get
in.
to the roof somehow.
Yeah,
And
I could just do that.
As you walking in
You're
here,
welcome to.
it's fairly warmly lit by some glass lanterns that are set on a couple of tables. It's not a very large interior. There's maybe only 3 tables and then a booth, smaller, for one seat on each side, set to the wall just inside the door. There's no bar or anything for this, just a window set into the back wall next to a door that divides this from a small little kitchen on the other side that just doesn't look anything different from what you'd see in a home. There are a couple of people in here, literally 2, sat at one of the tables across from each other. One woman kind of leaned over, arms folded, and the lady sat across her with a steaming mug, a clay mug of coffee, and they both just sort of looked at the door as the group of you come in. Obviously, very much not looking like the traditional clientele here. As you would be making your perhaps get ahead of myself. As you make your way up to do this, how have you all physically prepared yourselves? I know you said that you're putting on some kind of I am here to buy drugs dark cloak and blend in
Not cloak.
like that. What?
I look like a mountain climber. I'm actually very slimly dressed.
You have literally coils of rope and grappling hooks on you,
Yep.
looking like you're ready to go conquer a mountain.
Yodel hee hoo.
How about the rest of you, Reth? What do you have you changed at all? Have you?
I would imagine I would have normal street clothes, seeing as I don't live far from here.
But you still have a giant gun on your back.
Yeah, like literally strapped to my back,
Fair
not
enough.
carrying it in my hands.
Well, yeah, I assume that you're not walking the door with your cannon out.
Yeah.
I'm not changing.
Darren's a Sable Company boy.
Every single weapon I can carry on my person is on my person. All blades are covered. All tips are corked.
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 There's a cork on the end of your
Yeah,
spear.
on the end of the
Have a
javelins.
spear and just,
You have
Safety.
You have safety caps on your weapons.
of
Yes.
course.
Well, you want to cover the steel so that it doesn't rust, but the
That's-
cork
you
is
don't actually
hilarious.
stab
That's
people when you
normally
walk
what
past
grease
it.
is for. He uses corks.
I don't have
Goblin.
grease.
I have more than one piece of clothing.
That's fair. You look like an on-fire dumpster goblin. So, again, as I said, very much looking not so much like the normal clientele here, and also being a fairly large group for this small little coffee shop. The 5 of you filtering in here would fill a large chunk of the interior. And as you're moving through this, exploration mode here is something I've been kind of bad about being in the habit of establishing. What are you doing? How are you approaching this? Other way around, Floblin, we'll start with you.
Snaky, snaky.
He doesn't want to be seen in the coffee shop.
He's really afraid of coffee shops.
He normally gets
Tiny-
kicked out.
Tiny little flaming goblin in a dirty dumpster toga trying to hide behind I literally don't know what. His friend's legs.
There he is. There he is.
We're
doing
light
this.
cover.
Just doing this.
Listen, my logic is I don't know what to expect,
He only has to cover this one, actually.
and I don't really like people, especially humans, so I try to avoid notice as much as possible in any way I can.
Bad city to live in.
Especially when you're a trash goblin.
Especially
How about you, John?
John's just looking around, trying to get a feel for the area, so he's going to be seeking.
Okay.
Darren's looking for a way up, so he's also seeking.
Reth.
I guess the exact same thing Darren said. Just
You guys
like,
are all eyes
I'm sure
up.
there's stairs around here somewhere.
You're all looking, trying to... You're in an unfamiliar area. You're after a very high-value person here.
I'm after
Fate of the
stairs.
city, again, possibly, in your hands. Why does this keep happening?
Why us?
For this time only, I'm going to be recalling knowledge.
Okay. So as the group you enter,
Lord Rock
two at the
Climber.
table kind of look at you, and just sort of glance over because you come in the door, and then go, whether they were having a conversation or not, they go sort of quiet as your boots and jangling weapons and armor on the wooden floor here is definitely a lot more noise, almost blastingly loud in the quiet of this small little shop.
I hate it when the adventurers choose to come to our coffee shop.
Sure, most people do.
Yeah.
But you would see a rather round face with a very, very closely shaped, very thin, sort of jawline beard. Poke around out the window in the back with a smile and sort of look across the group of you. Morning to you.
Howdy.
Get you coffee, ham,
Actually, 5 cups.
Stairs.
stairs.
Yeah, going up. Stairs, a lift, rope ladder.
Oh, our little shop here, we don't have any more seating. All above this, just apartments.
Oh yeah, we're trying to get up to the tippy top. You might not have something here. I was curious if you know something nearby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you friends of someone?
Yeah, we
Normally they, you see him look sort of off to the side. And Seekers, give me a perception check real quick.
Ha ha. 29, not 20.
Not a high DC, but we'll take it.
I got a 6, so I think that's an 18.
I got a 25.
Looking
25
now.
critically succeeds. 18 regular succeeds.
I super critically succeed.
You super duper critic. You double critically succeed.
I failed. I got a 14.
Oh, you did. You wouldn't see. You would see
What
him
a
kind
6
of
does.
glance over. It's not terribly subtle. But the two of you, if you sort of shelf around the side of the room, can look around the side and see that there was a ladder in the back that leads up. You can see through the edge of this window that he glanced over to.
That'll work.
But it's through the kitchen area back there.
I'll say excuse me.
While he's doing that, I'll still be talking like, yeah, we were given, what was it, 40, 42, 44? We were told there'd be some way to go up here.
So it's behind the door. It's in his kitchen area. You
Yeah.
open the door and you.
Yeah, I say, oh, I see it. It's right there. And I'll just start walking that way.
Yeah, and as you open the door, you see that he's got a small little prep area on the inside of this window.
Excuse me.
With a little handbell, and he
Sidle I am.
smiles. He kind of sidles out of your way, and picks up that little bell and dings it through the window at the other lady that was sitting there. Doesn't have anything yet, and just sort of smiles and motions her over. And she looks up and sort of cocks her head, a little confused, as Darren makes his way over to the ladder here that looks like it just leads up through a small, like, trap door, literally, in the ceiling that goes up above. Assuming the group you are all following.
No.
Well,
You staying down?
I see it now, and I'm like, we didn't get the wrong place, right? Like, that does just go up. That's not like your...
It goes up to a trap door in the ceiling, so.
Yeah, I'm asking him, like,
Oh, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's the tenements up above, yeah.
oh, do you mind if we use it? Like,
Oh, no. Certainly, I'm not going to stop you. If you need access, need the access.
he's just going.
Darren's already, like, up the ladder. He's making his
Awesome.
way up the ladder.
That was cool. Thank you.
Apologize for the inconvenience. We were told our friend lived above you, so...
I feel that my friends are idiots, but I'm going to follow them.
I'm already heading up there. They just don't notice.
And
He's clinging to the back of my leg as I'm
he's at the front of your leg. and peering around your
showed
side,
him.
watching this little cook back here.
If I scrunch down small enough, I can look like a backpack.
This leads up the trap door as you open it, actually exposed to the elements here, as it leads up to almost a balcony landing on the second level with a small little walkway with another offshooting door that lets into this second level building, and a ladder just past that. It seems it's just kind of leaned up, almost like a fire escape, to a metal platform up above on the third tier of this. You would have been told that she lived on the third tier at 42 Moon Street, so it's literally absolutely no difficulty if you just climb this step over and climb the next ladder as well.
perfect.
From there, proceeding higher looks like it becomes either more complicated or less obvious, to be certain, but the door to what you believe to be Fontaine's apartment is right in front of you.
This entire thing seems incredibly inconvenient.
But the rent is cheap.
You would be like a train up here. There's not, like, at no point once you get to the ladder is there like a landing for you all to gather around. So, like, as maybe the two of you that are up front, which would I imagine be Darren and Wrath, it sounds like, up on the ladder, are in front of the door to Fontaine's, you would have John just sort of like stuck, and then John and Floblin like on the ladder with no, like, maybe sitting at the top of the ladder just against the wall, and then Floblin just sort of on the ladder and Arden down this landing below you.
I would
like,
just be waiting
Do
for
I think
everyone
it
to
would
go up
just
the
be
ladder.
easier to throw a grappling hook up there and just climb?
no.
The door is literally right in front of me.
Well, I'm just gonna like reach around and try and open it. If you're getting out your lockpick,
I'm going to see if it's locked first.
Smart thing.
Yeah.
Trying it does not immediately give, But the door is even set a little awkwardly in its frame. This is like up in the levels of the Shingles where things start to get real, fly by the seat of your pants as far as the construction and the architecture and the engineering goes.
Goblin engineering.
This is a door that used to be a window shutter that was peeled off
There's
of.
literally like a 1/4-inch gap between the door and the frame next to the knob that you can just see the pin in. So certainly it is going to be possessing thieves' tools and being trained in thievery. Not a check to open.
Knife, just
something that would take you a second
Yeah.
to lift and get in.
Oh. How's it going up there?
Oh, all good.
Yeah, come on up.
You open the
Yeah,
door
we
to
can't.
a one-room flat that's maybe about 15 feet by 15 feet. It's not particularly large.
It's going to be a tight squeeze.
Sounds like just enough room to get people up the ladder.
Combining all the amenities of a bedroom, a kitchen, and a painter's studio, leaving really very little space for much else. There was a small little stove, a little iron stove just inside the door, with a couple of sacks of vegetables and goods next to a small little crate just sort of gathered around it. This iron stove, like detached, just sat on some little metal feet on the ground with a stovepipe coming out of the top that's just attached to the wall behind it around the corner from where the door is.
Lit?
What?
Is it lit?
No.
Okay.
And next to that is a bed against the wall, a window on the far side with some simple curtains. It's currently open, just letting a little bit of the breeze at this level blow through. And the other half of the room is just massive easels and canvases and pots of multicolored paint and assortments of brushes and aprons hung on a bunch of hooks across the wall. A half-finished work currently set up, sketched out, part of it literally just being pencil sketches around with just the basest colors and shapes having been filled in across the bottom. It's very cramped. The base of this painting looks to be a stone steeple, and there is what looks like the barest shapes of a silverish imp on the bottom right, and the pencil sketch of what appears to be the head of a house drake above that in the opposite corner. Even from this, it looks like it's a fairly impressive work. She does seem quite capable. And in the bed, next to the window, is a person sleeping. Short, blonde hair, head on a sort of lumpy pillow with a very simple kind of canvas blanket drawn around her.
Does she match the sketch the Hell Knight showed me?
Oh, you can see in the back of her head, unconscious in bed, but it looks like she very well may.
Oh, well, hold on. Preemptive measure. I'm going to walk over and shut the window just in case.
When you go over to the window, make me a perception check.
And
And Darren
19.
19. Darren and John, as you enter the room, you can do that as well.
It's 18.
22.
So you two wouldn't notice, as surely you're fixated on the figure on the bed, but Reth, as you head over and go to close the window, you see this leads out into this kind of like mess, almost the street above the street of the Shingles here. You see a figure with real short cropped blonde hair drop down over the edge of a rooftop about 2 blocks away.
Out the window. She's running. That's fake.
And very quickly, you would be able to, one of you casting the blanket off would realize that almost as you cast the blanket off, the magic from this conjuration would fade, and this would just out of existence. This figure laying in the bed here, as Reth is already making his way out the window. And we
Chase scene.
are going to You're not wrong. Whether that's the music that's going to be appropriate or not, we'll find out here.
It's us. It's always appropriate.
I got something kind of cool from the Paizo stash and wondered to myself, I'm not sure I can find a place to use this, really.
And then immediately found a place to use it.
And then realized that this scene exists in Curse the Crimson Throne. Here we have the chase deck.
The chase deck.
The chase deck.
The deck of mini chase.
Deck of mini chase. Let me put some cards down real quick. I gotta lean real far.
You just handed them to me. And
No, I want to do it. You guys are here. Fontaine has got a pretty good head start on you.
Huh.
As she was warned by the bell,
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
and you guys took a second to realize something was amiss here.
Nope.
So she has got a 3-card head start.
Uh-huh.
Did you see her drop below the rooftop there? She is on that last card.
Uh-huh.
As you look out the window here, Rhett, and take your way out, that's where we're gonna start
So
our obstacle.
we start here.
You, as you come out the window, can see flip her card.
This card.
Yep.
Crumbling wall. I'm going to pick that up and read it.
As you see her dip below the rooftop there and go across a lower level, you see her dart around through a section of building that looks like it's kind of abandoned. It's the top layer of its little structure, scrambling quickly across a stone face, almost vaulting herself up and over the far side. Now this is a group activity here. Each of these cards has got 2 different checks on it. I'll just pull the card on the bottom to look at as an example, which is construction site here. It has the check up top, which is always a little bit harder, and the check on the bottom, which typically, a lot of times has more options, is almost always a lower DC.
It is the opposite for that one.
This not always. It goes
Yeah.
back and forth. Some of them are higher, some of them are lower. But it's usually the actually it's totally 50-50 on which is higher or lower. I think it's actually totally random. Sometimes the regen. If you go after the top one, that is the direct approach. That is the most straightforward way to succeed at the obstacle. Each of you are going to get a check on your turn to chase, assuming that you're going to chase after her, to roll one of these things on the card. And you are kind of all chasing after her here. It's sort of a hybrid of a group and an individual progress thing. You will need to get the group of you past any given obstacle as many successes as there are at the bottom of the card. If you critically succeed at the top check, which is the direct approach, you alone can move to the next card if you want, or you can put 2 successes in the group's progress of the card. If you critically succeed at the bottom check, you can move the entire group to the next card. As we are up here in the shingles above the streets, if you critically fail, you will fall. You will fall down out of the shingles entirely, and will have to either attempt to follow on the chase from below on foot, or make your way back up with an athletics check to climb. Or an acrobatics check, either or. So, Ref, you are out the window first here. I did actually hit the button on that as I stood up. Since so basically none of you heard any of that, it was just rules, such as life. Let us proceed here. Ref, you're the first out the window. Flip that first card.
Alrighty. Twisting alleyways.
It's not immediately obvious how Fontaine got across to the roof that she's at. To chase after your first goal is going to be trying to figure out how to chase after her. You have 2 checks: direct approach and second.
Well, this one is a perception to find the way, or society to remember a map.
Okay.
And I'm real tempted to go for the society. I'm pretty sure my modifier is a solid +1, but the DC is also 4 lower. I think I'm gonna go with the perception, which is the top one.
Okay.
And I fail, but do not critically fail, with a 12.
So you see Ref. What do you do?
Pop out the window. I see her dropping off in the distance. I've never been this deep in the shingles. I'm looking around trying to figure out how to get there.
All right. And you all see, you hear Beth call out outside the window, and
Like, I'm just
Then
standing
just
there
sort of
like,
stands there
how in
looking
the hell
around.
do I get where she was?
who would head out next? What are you all doing then?
Well, if I see Reth diving out the window, that Darren's like
I
a
definitely-
dog. Like, what?
Yeah, pretty
Definitely
much.
called out, she's running, that's fake, as I was like trying to get out the window.
And you can take your turns here in any order, since this is going to go back and forth between her and the group of you. So, like,
So-
initiative, if you would rather roll initiative for, like,
Are we all in the room?
Yeah, we're all
you
in the
will be
room.
up in or right outside filing into the room at this point. Any of you will be able to dash to the window. So go ahead, Darren.
Darren is going to click on Hunt Prey because it works as long as I'm tracking somebody, even if I can't see them.
Fair enough.
So this will work out.
No, absolutely, I would let you hunt prey, Fontaine.
And he's going to dive out of the window, and he's going to look down at the shingles and look for displaced, broken shingles to show where she ran, to see if I can follow her trace that way.
And I could point out in the distance where where we're trying to get to.
Perfect. So I get +2 to perception checks when I seek my prey. So I'll use that here.
I'll give it to you. Okay. I'll give it to you. You're not really seeking your prey, you're seeking a pet, but I'll give it to you.
Ooh, well, that's a natural 1 right there. So
Oh, you see some leaves, you jump for
As you
them.
come out, you look, and you very much are seeking your prey. You're
Yeah.
focused on her, and you go to take a step, and you immediately see his foot crack on the edge of this, a kind of bow under the weight of his armor, and he
Wait, not
twists
right there.
and just tumbles down out
off
of
the edge.
shingles.
Well, I'm gonna try my way then.
That was about what I thought was going to happen.
All right, well,
you
he's
even-
dead, boys. We gotta keep going.
He didn't even look.
Professionalism. Keep going.
And
I got him.
as you fall down, kind of bouncing off a couple of different outcroppings,
Put
and
that die
rooftops,
over
balconies,
It's a movie
clothing lines
fall.
on the way down. You are going to take 10 points of damage, and you are now on the ground outside 42 Moon Street.
That
You-
trail you were looking for is right in your face now.
You land next to the open door of the coffee shop you walk into, and the two women that were just drinking are on their way out and just jump back and stare at you. Like, look up, like, what the hell? Who wants to go next?
I mean, I was sneaking at first, but upon, Rest saying, go get him,
Get him, boy.
I kind of do what goblins do. I use my goblin eye, specifically just the one, to perceive what the quickest route is, being the little alleyway goblin that I am. So that will be definitely a perception check, while being sneaky about it so I can get the jump on her. Ooh, that's a good roll too, I think. 18 in total.
Oh, it's a DC.
That's a success. DC
Success.
17.
So that puts a success on the card. You see the beginning of how she got going here. That's like looks like D4s or something.
Oh, do we have dice? We have Norse Foundry dice,
We
good
have
sir.
nice Foundry dice, so you can track your successes there. And you see Floblin start to follow, but is still kind of looking for how to get across this main street, how to get around that rooftop. There's a pretty big gap. Leaves John and Arden.
John, I'm going to jump out to almost immediately rather look down there and you okay, whatever. And this actually reminds me a little bit of a game I used to play with my sister when we were out in the woods. We had found a bunch of fallen trees and quickly tried to get across fastest. So I'm going to use perception to find the quickest route across.
Okay.
For a total of a 19. That's a
Team
success.
will succeed. You can see that one of these balconies on the nearby buildings you'd have to hop over to, but extends a little further out off the street and may give you a decent enough launching point to get to the roof of a building adjacent to one that will definitely connect to where Fontaine is, still now like a full block away, but get you on that same line. Now leaves Arden.
Arden will climb out the window and take a look where they're pointing, and he is used to calculating different ways to get through obstacles to try to get up cliffs. So he's going to quickly figure out the path that she took and then use that to figure out the amount of distance she probably traveled and kind of look off in that direction.
Okay, so perception.
Yeah. Can I activate a spell after I do that? Or like, how does
these
that...
are kind of like, these are loose rounds. They would definitely have time for you to use spells or class abilities.
I'm going to activate Spider Climb.
Okay. What the spider climb is, it's not going to help you so much on this one as it's
but
more trying
maybe-
to find the way
exactly.
over, but that definitely might come in handy later for sure.
Not another one.
Oh, God. That
It'll
was-
come in
that was-
handy with her getting back to us on her next
Did she
turn.
roll a 1?
That's
I
a
did
1.
indeed.
Wow, you guys are awful at this.
I don't know. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Comes out, casts this spell, and then tries to go out. What do you do? You're falling down. What happens? How do you fall with spider climb?
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
You went to climb the right way, but it's the shingles and it's non-Euclidean, and you end up on the street.
Easy. I'm gonna get out on the side of this building and just reach across, and you kind of climb down and put your hands on it, and the plaster on the outside just goes. It just falls, takes 10 damage, and lands in the street right next to Aaron as he's standing up
In front of that poor lady.
This place is terrible.
In the distance, you see Fontaine scramble to climb over that wall. You see her continue across that little rooftop ahead of her, and she looks back at and sees now the group of you all filing out of the window to her apartment. There is some equipment around here. There's a wooden crane on a building nearby. And some crates and barrels up here that looks like they're moving supplies or maybe somebody stashing things. But she stops for a moment and puts a couple of kicks into a low crate. Doesn't really find any success. And gets behind it and puts all their weight into toppling a big stack of crap in the way as she darts by, leaving a blocked path behind her. Move her forward 1 card.
All right, then.
All right, who wants to go? Again, it's any order. Whoever wants to jump in, jump in.
I'll go on ahead and looking back down over, making sure that they're at least conscious after that fall. That
They
ain't
look
exactly
fine.
a short distance.
The only thing wounded is their pride.
Don't step was they stepped.
I'm gonna look back over, and I'm at least a little bit familiar with these parts. Maybe not right here. I'm attempt to remember this location off of maybe a passing by or off a map I've seen, something like that. Trying society.
Go for it.
Didn't critically fail. That's a 7. DC 13.
A little
I
shaken by watching your friends fall down here. Matt's not in a hurry to go. Yeah. He hasn't moved from outside the window. He's thinking. He's looking. He's thinking. He's planning his hunt. He's gone nowhere.
You're thinking too hard. That's the problem. You gotta stop thinking so hard.
That's what happens when you don't think hard.
All right. Back in the game, Darren. Back in the game.
So,
Back to my feet.
with your party looking after her and you hear this cacophony and see her toppling these things at distance, you could attempt to move a little ways on the streets after her, or you can try to climb back up. Moving the streets is athletics or acrobatics. Climb back up is only going to be athletics.
Okay.
But since you are literally at square one, you could just go
Use the
back up the
ladder.
ladders again and just be back at the top as your turn if you so choose.
You know what?
Literally.
That's
yeah.
hilarious. I'm gonna get back up. Sorry, move my way past the women. back to the bar. Excuse me, I just need to get back. Thank you. All right, excuse me. Just gonna shuttle back up the ladder. All right, trapdoor. Okay, come on.
Question. Can I aid another instead of doing my own check?
Absolutely. If you want to use your check to aid somebody else, you can totally do that.
Huh.
Well, while Darren's
That's-
doing that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. You're rolling. You have a die in your hand. You
Go
want to
for it,
go?
Pablo.
Well, I'm gonna keep using my sneaky goblin ways to pass by through what little bits of the alleyways I can see, and you perceive my path that way and whatnot. So I guess I'll just have to succeed another perception check, correct?
That was correct. Yep.
That was a.
Take that
Apparently, I was a little too eager and I didn't plan my footing quite right.
You roll a one. What is hey? Oh my god.
And so Fontaine escaped the city.
I got.
I take that back. I rock
So
this.
Arden, as you pull yourself up with these two women in the doorway here,
We're so
one of them
inept.
is like, are you all right? And Flopper just pow.
No, guys, this makes perfect sense. Last session, we ended on a fight where we were so
right.
confident. It was
opposite of the
almost
OQ
unlikely.
confidence.
All right.
This had to happen.
This is easy.
We had to balance out the
Flopper.
universe.
Already writing it down.
This is easy. Just don't think about it too hard, and you'll get across easily. Just go for it.
And
Natural
from the-
20.
Oh,
Really?
critical success. You are gonna be able to see this thing that Flopper was going for is totally viable. You're clearing the card for everyone. What are you doing?
Literally, as he's saying that, he just looks back at Darren and just takes a hop backwards. Well, not Darren, but Reth. Takes a hop backwards. Looks like he falls over. There's a ledge right there that just walks across.
And since there are already 2 successes on the card, 2 successes is clears
Clear.
it, and the party moves forward. So the 3 of you that are still up there will move to what?
We're going into a fungus grotto.
The fungus grotto.
As you're making your way
Nick will be
across the
perfect for this.
Following the other rooftop here, you see that a little bit of the place where Fontaine clearly has run by. These clay rooftop shingles are really not meant to support the weight of a woman sprinting full tilt. Have cracked open, and as you step down to them, a bit of a dust shoots up from them.
It goes to a fort saved and endure poisonous spores, or a survival to avoid the mushrooms themselves entirely. Survival's easier.
There are a great variety of unpleasant molds that grow throughout the world of Galarian, and you don't have the time to try and analyze this. This is one you should really mess with. And Arden, before you take your turn here, for that excellent display of foresight in the spell use, Ghost of Zon hands you a card, and
Thank you.
Nick, don't fall again.
I'm great at this.
Run and shoot. Remembering to breathe is the hard part. I don't want to breathe right now.
Warding sign. Quick, draw a butterfly.
Like the cleric it does now.
I have no idea.
Arden, you are in the street. You have your turn.
Arden is done with this whole shingles thing for the moment. He is going to take off like a shot after her on the ground for a minute before he tries to climb back up. He is very, very fast on the ground. He gets an extra 5 feet per move speed, and he is going to run at full speed in that direction.
Okay. Do you want to make me an athletics check to sort of push through, or acrobatics to sort of dodge her?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. All right. Make me a roll to sort of duck around. I mean, the floor is still got these people patrolling around. There are like wagons and stalls and stacks of goods.
Only it's not an abandoned city.
Not a great part of town. Not an abandoned city. Inspire. Acrobatics.
No.
She didn't
It's
turn
a
enough.
3 on the die.
It's okay. It's not a 1. It's what we were looking for.
You can't fall
farther.
for falls into the sewers.
Yeah, it's still a it's still a 15 because I'm an
succeeds.
expert in athletics.
15 does succeed, which will move
And I'm
Arden
at
to the
+1.
bottom of the second card. And as you fall around this route here, you have little to go on other than looking at your allies up above you. Trying to stick to this path, this leads you around to the dead end of an alleyway where to continue the chase from here, you have little choice other than to climb it back up to the shingles above.
Spider climb.
Spider climb definitely help with that. So, Fontaine, on the back side of this, you would lose sight of her for a minute as she topples this stack of crates and barrels in your way. But you would see her again, perhaps going after what Arden was hoping this would be more of, as she is basically free climbing up the side of a mirroring building, up a brick wall, through the little mortared seams, kind of slowly and cautiously up this towering wall.
Huh. It's quite athletic for an artist.
And she is clearly making
see
very
where she
good
lives.
progress here. She is agile. She is athletic. She is quick. She seems to be very in her element here.
There's not going to be any climbing in the climbing gear.
What are you gonna need this stupid rope for?
Alrighty then.
It's okay. One of us came prepared for the towering wall.
Yeah.
Hopping down on that pathway and making my way over. I don't even notice the spores as I just step in them and reflexively cover up my my nose.
I smell something funny.
Yeah, for survival.
All right, give me a survival check.
I believe that is a 24.
What's the DC?
13.
Critical success. Is that the first or second option?
That is the second option.
That's the second. So you see, somewhat reactively, you don't have time to identify what this is, but Reth shoots through, kind of dances around it, and doesn't seem to disturb it too much. Also doesn't seem to be bothered. Critical success on the second entry is going to allow the entire party to move to the third card.
Nice. Easy.
This is the funnest system ever.
I was really excited for this last week. I was so sad we didn't get the streams. I thought it was going to be super cool.
So the third card is refuse heap.
Oh, goblin time.
As you come around this here, and before this towering wall seems to be just a sagged rooftop where all of the nearby denizens of the Shingles just seem to dispose of their crap. It's heaped around the crumbling wall, and as the back end is part of what Fontaine has toppled on you. But you'll need to bypass that next to get to where you saw her in the first place. Closing the gap, though. We're back where we started. All right. 3 cards out.
And this
All right,
one is
I've got
acrobatics or
this.
fortitude.
Okay.
You got this?
I got this. All right.
Stop
No one ever
saying
said this
that.
was glamorous.
He's diving into
And
it.
I'm going to plow forward with the fork out, extend it to the long ways to plow my way through this to clear a path through the garbage while holding my breath.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to use my breath control feat. Sable Company Marine, have to be underwater, hold my breath to use fortitude save, which is the bottom.
Give you a plus 2 on the fort save for breath control for sure.
Oh, well, okay. The feat only gives me a +1.
Oh, does it actually have a fixed
actually gives me a
bonus?
+1.
Oh, I didn't even know I had an actual bonus.
It's a +1 and its success is critical success.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
Breath control's a really nice feat.
So that's 16 plus 9, 25, which I think critically
That's
succeeds
critical
That's
anyway.
critical anyways.
Twice.
And diving into this with a Sable Company training, Darren easily clears a path, getting the group of you up to this crumbling bit of wall.
We were really stuck over here.
It was a hard
And
start.
now we're here.
It was a hard start.
Fontaine like buttered the shingles right outside her window is what
Yeah.
it was.
That's what that time delay was.
Yeah.
She had the warning to put out the canola oil or whatever.
3 you left. One of you is even on the roof.
I'm just gonna go ahead this crumbling wall. I'm gonna find a way over the wall. He's not doing a thievery check. I'm an athletic boy.
Is that the first one, I assume?
Yeah.
Athletics is first.
Yeah,
Thievery
thievery
Direct-
second.
the
I'm doing
direct approach is
just
usually
literally climb right over it.
Okay.
So we're gonna do athletics for a total of a 23.
Probably
That
succeeds.
is critical.
That's a
Critically
critical.
succeeds. You can either pass yourself. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
You push it to garbage. John doesn't want to be here anymore. John
over it.
Immediately vaults over this just as easily as Fontaine had to put himself immediately behind her.
What was the second option? Acrobatics, right?
Acrobatics or athletics, or since you're on literally square one, you could do it there and didn't just go.
Well, Goblin is fairly agile for a goblin, so I would assume that he's gonna bob and weave his way some way over that wall.
If someone comes back up from step 1, do they come to where we are, or do they have to?
They come to step one.
Okay.
That's going to be a 15.
15 will succeed. And allow you to follow up after Arden to this alleyway here.
Not a failure.
So, if 15 is exactly what you see to push through the streets. So, as that was everyone. Arden, you went there first, right?
Arden
So
was
it's
first.
Everyone this turn. As John makes his way back behind this here, you see Fontaine now pretty close by, on the other side of this pile, and a little distance up a wall. But she turns and sees you, the man covered in 50 weapons.
All corked. They're corked.
50 corked weapons
It's very comical. Maybe she'll laugh.
coming after her. And she sort of lowers her stance a bit, swings over a bit on the wall, closer to you, and hanging out with one hand, reaches over to her side and whips out a small rod. Colorus Imperator! And blasts a wave of colors.
I don't know what you just said.
I said make a will save.
I'm good at these.
She
rainbow.
said, "Get rocked, son."
I'm so good at will saves. It's not even funny. This is my best stat.
Really?
No.
No.
Level 3 fighters.
Like, what did you build?
If it's a fear effect, yeah, but it's not.
Is that
a 1?
That's a 2.
It's a 9 total.
9 will critically fail, which
to the ground with
you have the
you.
incapacitation trait, so it's a regular failure. But the rest of you will see, well, I guess probably not the two in the street, but the other two of you behind the rooftop will see you move over and pull out this wand and blast a wave of like a multicolored, almost rainbow powder, just like a blast of confetti over John, who is now blinded and stunned 1.
That was really rude.
And then she will continue just tossing the stick to the ground. Continue her way up the wall.
Probably shouldn't shoot her. Probably shouldn't shoot her.
I'm thinking about it.
Just please stop. I want to talk.
Where
That's
you
all I
see
want
her-
to
Part of your
do.
calf makes it awful hard to climb.
You see her get up to the top of this. And as she pulls herself up, pulling her right foot up onto the eave, it cracks through, and she shoots down, dangling off of the edge of this for a moment, before she swings herself back up and sort of cautiously flat, like crawling across ice, pulls her body over the eave onto the top of this flat, squared roof. Slowly, kind of steadily raising herself up, arms out for balance, as you see her proceed pretty slowly across the shaky ground atop that roof.
That's not stunned.
When do you want me to start getting
Go
rid
You
of
can make
older
like a
cards?
Just make a second row.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
like move it down to a second row if we need to.
Let's do this.
That's
Chase
low.
deck is so cool. I love it.
I really like the chase deck. The chase deck is super. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to put it into the
Aha.
camera. You can move it
There we
back a
go.
little.
I was trying to get the angle. I got it.
Yeah, the lighting was glaring off it a little bit.
Fair enough. All right, friends.
I am.
Reth, you got that wall?
I think I'll let you take a swing at it first,
Okay, so you need help with it. All right.
Mr. Thieves' Tools.
Just
I was saying if you were just going to jump it, but that's fine. Darren can help. He's going to look at it, use the fork again, long range, look for like the rock that's kind of holding all of it up and just kind of try to lever it out of the way. Thievery of a 20.
Success.
Success. Put one on board. And you see him start to. He pulls out a little rubble, a little chunk of it topples over, but it's still pretty tall and pretty unsteady.
John, I covered my eyes. I'm blinded now, but I was still barreling forward. I didn't have time to reel back. I'm just gonna athletics my way through the blocked path, just trying to
You're totally
shoulder my
blind.
line.
It is a pile of crap, but you're not really sure where to hit into this. I'm going to give you a -4 for
Minus
being
4.
completely blind.
That's fine.
That's right. That's about right.
That's about right. For a total of a -4 is 3, so 12. It's a failure.
I really wanted to critically fail and blindly just topple up. Woo!
4.
You see him kind of slam
That's what I'm
awkwardly
going
into
for.
this. What happens?
I was running full tilt as I got blinded. It was just me just smacked into it. I thought that was right. I probably hit the wall next to it. Can someone help me here? I can't see a thing.
I got it.
Oh, he
I
wants
just
to
hear
run.
echo.
I got it.
Yeah, you should have run ahead by yourself then.
At least you're not blinded. I took that for.
My whole point, actually. Come on, Reth.
Well, I'll take a swing at it.
Can you not jump the wall?
I am trained in neither of these things.
Do your best.
Doing my best.
You tried society earlier. Come
World
on, man.
first gunslinger, not trained in
Nat
thievery.
20. No one cares.
He shoots.
I don't even know what he was doing.
I mean, if he's not trained in either, I assume it was his. What was the second one? I would assume he's.
Wow, dude.
I don't know what I'm doing. The gun let me break it.
It doesn't matter because it's already a success. And, oh, that's not the one that takes 3. The one I put
No.
down takes 3.
Yeah.
But tell me what you're rolling for. You roll it for the record.
Yeah.
But
I was just going for the fences.
What do you do?
I see what he was trying to do, and I put the end of the gun in there. And then I pry it up.
It just goes
You
off.
accidentally hit the trigger.
He pulls the trigger. You just hear. You know the silencer on it's on the stone, and something happens for a second. And the whole wall.
God, that's too good.
And the two of you catch up with John, who you can see you can see the stars in his eyes. He has no idea where he is or what year it is. But you make your way to the barricade. Street team.
Oh, since we did the second option for these, are they already cleared?
Maybe. the crumbling barrier over. That one is cleared for good. But as they are just trying to get themselves and not a whole group through these first two obstacles, it's not going to take them like 4 successes.
Fair.
But they will have to get through them.
Arden now kind of braces himself with spider climb and pulls out his grappling hook, looks up, finds a pipe that looks pretty stable, tosses that thing up there, and proceeds to climb up the wall, shooting fast as he possibly can. I'm going to use acrobatics.
Wait, so let me. You threw a grappling hook up the wall, and then proceeded to use that to climb the wall, while you have spider climb.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's thinking about his friend.
That's fantastic.
I want to
Floblin
leave
needs a
something for
rope.
Floblin to get up
I appreciate it.
behind me.
And you've got enough stuff. It's not like a raw climb. You can use little bits of balcony and eaves and things on your way up to acrobatics check up the side of this. So give me a check.
That's going to be a 22.
22 will succeed, putting you back up on card the second. And leaving a rope for Floblin here.
Oh, well, I'm going to take that opportunity and use the rope in acrobatics to climb up the rope.
Look at y'all trained in skills that are useful for this stuff, and I'm just getting lucky.
That's going to be a 23.
23 will put you back up there as well. So, you see her over on the edge and looks down and sees the group of you kind of stuck on the barricade here. And she kind of cautiously is making her way along the edge of this roof atop the wall, not going inwards out of your sight, which surely she would want to do. So it seems clear as day that that's not a terribly viable approach. And she's just sort of making distance here, working her way over to the corner and dropping down onto the building at the far side of this. And as she does, she drops down, kind of lands pretty gracefully, tests her footing, and then you see her like flinch and panic and throw her hands up to defend herself, swatting at something, and turns and looks, and then just braces herself and slams her shoulder into the side of the building. Cry out in pain as you see a swarm of wasps shoot up as she
fine.
takes off away from that corner.
Reminds me of my childhood.
Because, yeah, why wouldn't wasps appear? That seems like, yeah, the city is just made of suffering.
Wasps are in regular cities. You can't put that one on Korvosa.
Just go.
I'm sneaking
Yeah,
around.
We'll do row the second here.
Yeah, because, normal buildings just have wasps in them.
And she is,
It's Florida.
It
All normal buildings have
You're right,
wasps.
you're
she
right.
is getting fairly close as she makes her way out east here towards the university district and towards the edge of the Shingles. It's starting to kind of angle its way down a little bit. Looking ahead, if she gets much further, she is going to have ample opportunity to just dip completely out of sight and be nearly impossible to follow.
I am blinded, sir.
You are no longer blind, you are now dazzled.
I am dazzled.
Because that lasted one round.
Okay. I don't know what dazzled means.
Dazzled is like seeing stars, it's blinded light.
Cool. John is literally, he reels back a little bit. I reel back a little bit and like, all right, let's go.
Take a -1 for your dazzled.
All right, we're doing the athletics again.
Mostly see what you're doing now.
I rolled a 3 this time, naturally. So that's a total of a 12 again.
What's the DC?
Or, sorry,
Fails.
13.
Fails because of the -1.
Oh,
He's you
Or
see
11.
it hit and it 11 with the dazzle. You see it like move a little bit, but he still clearly doesn't have a great grip of where
This
he's
is why I don't like
actually
magic at all.
Let me see what I can do. I'm getting some leverage out of this fork, man. stab this fork into the crate and try to push it to the side.
Just pitchforking his way through
Pitchforking
the
my
world.
way through this
I'm
stuff.
glad you got to use your
This is
super cool
not what
item
this
you
stupid
got.
thing was designed for.
Hey, my shield is designed to protect me, but it's back at the.
And as I push the crate, the ground underneath it gives, and the barbs of the fork are stuck in it and takes me off the edge of the roof with it.
No! Darren
I think she gets away.
Darren takes 10 more damage and falls down to the street.
Of course, Link would choose this moment to have
He
tidings.
would choose this moment to have tidings as I get a villain card, Shoot Through.
Oh boy.
I think we've already doing
I
that.
technically had.
Never saw it.
It's more fun this way.
It's more fun this way. Other guy over here with us. Just you want to hardball for athletics?
The
Try
barrel-
athletics.
I'll give you. He took a barrel with him. I'll give you one success. He took a part
A
of the
pity
barricade
success.
down the
We'll
street
take it.
with him.
I'm gonna just do it. Athletics. Roll the malachite.
Athletics.
Because either way,
Window.
Power of gun will prevail.
Yeah, just 20.
He can't keep getting away with it.
What happened?
Power of gun.
you reload, it goes bang.
Whole thing collapses. Staring down the road, stands up, and just crates and barrels shower down around him, shattering in the street as they land.
I'll just go ahead and flip this one too.
That was gone too. And
If you obliterate every obstacle,
the two of you are now on a rooftop. Adjacent to this brick
I don't know
wall.
how I'm shooting the wall down.
The only easy access to her roof, maybe 20 feet away, around past the side of this building that you're up next to.
Imagine how intimidating that is, though. You're running away, you hear bang. Suddenly, obstacles start collapsing.
That was a
left and
big
right.
gunshot, yeah. Floblin and Arden, you can see a lot of this path is largely clear, but as you climb up here, you both, certainly, you from being natural and you from living in trash, would recognize what could very well be a dangerous fungus growing out here in the refuse heap, kind of separating you from your allies.
Well, since I eat trash for a living, I think I can handle it.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna.
eat your way through
Yes. Fortitude.
both obstacles.
That's not a 1, is it?
It's a 2.
Okay. I saw a very small number.
So that's a.
We
8
are
total.
heroes.
What's the fort DC?
15.
All right, with an 8.
It's not a critical fail.
It's not. See, you're good with gross. You're not good with mildly poisonous. And as Floblin, kind of the opposite of Red's thing, is like, whatever, and stamps onto it, inhales all this. What happens?
I'm kind of, at first, I'm like, I got this.
Arden, you see him kind of freeze out here.
It's convulsing.
You shouldn't breathe in the mushrooms. You live in trash. How do you not know this?
I see mushrooms grow on sandwiches all the time.
Gross. I am going to.
It's a survival or fortitude, I think.
So Arden, who actually grew up in the forest, understands that mushrooms should not be breathed in. You should actually try to avoid them. So he is going to kind of tiptoe, kind of like using his knowledge of how these things grow and in what patches to kind of just tiptoe his way through this without stepping on them. And that's survival.
Okay, that's a second check, right?
Yeah.
Or suck.
Plus 9. It's going to be
past that
22.
I'm sure.
Oh, sorry, 23.
DC 13 for survival.
Oh, critical success!
Critical.
You grab Floblin with you as you're going. What are you?
Come on. Let's go. Just stop choking on yourself.
Get into the trash pile.
Oh, there we go. This is your home.
You see Fontaine still with an arm up around her face, kind of swatting, and you see her stumble and stop. And from where you are, you can see that she's cornered herself a little bit. The gap between the building she's on and the next building is a fairly decent chasm. And as she sits and kind of swings and looks at this, she doesn't have the running start she needs for it. And she puts her hands in front of herself, making a couple of quick sigils. Defend the Marconis! And from her hands, this thin blue shimmer sort of spreads down her body. and then puts her hands out in front of herself, arms crossed. Cleopas! And a second shield just kind of appears, which does not stop the wasps literally at all. They just kind of swarm around it, and she just sort of panics for a moment. She's not on the chasm card, actually.
Ow.
Violence.
Bonk.
That's what's about to happen to us with that wall.
That wall's a tower. It's a towering wall.
All right, towering wall.
I don't know what the 4 on that card
Am I-
means, but its DCs are very high.
Am I no longer dazzled?
Still dazzled.
I'm still dazzled. Cool. I still, John, I only know one thing, and that's forward. Don't even think about it. It's a very tall wall. Just climb it. Easy. Duh.
Easy.
Just quick, man.
The first one's a DC 17 athletics. The second one's DC 22 perception. Neither of those,
Tougher obstacle.
yeah, it's a very tough
It
obstacle.
has
So,
a 4 on the card, I
There's
assume.
some variance in here.
for the dazzle makes it to 16.
And it's very.
She's got her money's worth out of this wand.
It's tough. It's tough grips here. She made her way up quite slowly and carefully with full vision, and you're still trying to. You're seeing flashes and random splotches of colors. Not fantastic at this.
Gonna buzz on the academy now. This is going to happen.
I'm going to try perception with a gun.
He aims down the sight and like, oh, I see.
Nah, it's finally failed you.
I'll re-roll.
Do it.
Do what you want.
You won't.
This
Just pick 2.
He's thinking.
I'm keeping that one.
this is how we get punished.
Reroll.
Doing it. That's
Doing
right.
it. Feels right.
Okay, so that is a 24, which is a point. That is 1 success. DC
Alright.
22.
Well, looking at this, trying to kind of plot out. Rhett's approach to this chase is the thinking man's approach here.
Shoot through the wall.
Trying to point, look, and figure out how he's going to do this.
Got to
Looking at
figure out the
sights,
weak spot to shoot the wall.
Starting to formulate a plan. Notably, Darren down the road, as all these things shatter around you and all these barrels and boxes stop falling, you look and you see the small small wooden brown rod with a black bulbous handle at one end that Fontaine had dropped just right next to you.
Scoop it. Then tuck into my belt, dip into my healer's tool pouch, pull out that waxy kind of tiger balm, basically. Rub it on my shoulder. I've fallen on twice now. Just do a quick battle medicine to kind of get some health back.
Did not expect battle medicine to come up in this.
I know, right? Get back 11 health. I'll be good to fall off the roof again.
-1 fall.
Yep. And, okay. And I'm going to hear the chanting, her specifically her voice incanting these spells are going to kind of orient myself here. All right, and I'm just going to take off through the streets.
Okay. Athletics or acrobatics?
I will take an athletics. It's a 14.
14's not quite going to do it, as you just kind of got airdropped into unfamiliar streets here, and it's the paths here do not align with the gaps in the buildings up there, because some of these are like literally spreading alleyways and streets in weird fashions, and you can't easily. I will move you up to below the towering wall because the crumbling wall has been destroyed from existence.
Fair enough.
But you can't find an easy way to progress down here.
Whose turn is it?
It's whoever's turn you want.
I'll go. Okay, Floblin, you should be fine in the refuse heap. I'm gonna. You do your thing.
Well,
What is that?
I think it's
It is acrobatics, DC 13, fortitude, DC 15.
All right, enough with this. He'll kind of leap up into the air and kind of grab onto some of the shingles and stuff around him and kind of climb over the refuse heap, like hands and feet, like just kind of crab walking so that he doesn't get any of it on him.
Make me an acrobatics check. And I'll give you a +1 for that spider climb.
I was about to say, I thought it was a spider, not a crab.
Same thing.
Sometimes you gotta be both. Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's a succeed on the dice alone.
That's a 31.
That's the first option, right? So
Yeah.
Arden would be able to move past this, and with the wall and the barricade having been destroyed, would quickly arrive with John and Reth at the base of this big freaking wall.
That's a wall.
That's. Ah, yeah, that is a wall. I thought that was like.
Yeah, I'm thinking we can climb up over here though.
Well, I'm gonna use me goblin skills and try and climb the wall. Or the wreckage here.
Acrobatics.
Yeah.
Dude, you're at home in the garbage.
In the
And then.
14.
That passes. That's DC 13.
All right, then you would also quickly scurry up to the rest of the group. Hey, they caught up. We've made it to the grand wall.
There's a chance.
Is John still feeling kind of dazzled or whatever?
I was absolutely still dazzled, yes.
As I see this, as I catch up, I'm like, you're right. Oh, hold on. Restoration. Bzz.
There was.
Does that clear dazzle?
I don't know. I have no.
No.
We're about
You
to
have
find out.
We're gonna find. Yeah, you got the spell card.
I do. I
There's
have the
three-
official Paizo
Yeah,
spell card.
look that up while Fontaine backs up,
that
trying to
a-
keep this like magical shield in front of her face, this blue shimmer across her body, backs up to the wall, and just sprints towards the edge and jumps across the street below
Wow.
to the far rooftop.
It does everything but dazzle.
So she's in chasm now.
Yeah, she's a chasm now. She moves forward one
Oh,
card.
ooh.
It's it's the poisons or the statuses that do numbers. You put that on him, and he's still kind of blinking. It doesn't. You don't feel any notably
The
better.
three floblins.
A little bit less tired.
I don't like the three floblins thing. Can we make that stop?
I was trying to help. Sorry. I guess it didn't work.
You're fine.
glad
You're
this-
fine. But take a look over here. See if you can climb up right here. And I'm gonna perception again, the second option
You're looking.
for a 19. Not a success.
Not a critical
Not
failure,
a critical
no.
failure.
He's got his party behind him. He's returned to the thinker.
Just I did my job.
I love how much of this chase is just.
All right, so we're going to try this. Ron has backed himself up this time for a little bit of a running start. He's just going to try to do the run up the wall to try to get a good handhold up the top.
Okay.
Still blinded. He's seeing like three walls.
Still -1.
I don't know which wall I'm going for.
We never do.
Natural 20.
We don't care.
That's the wall.
Hey, maybe it did work.
I feel great.
The blessing of the Myco, and you go straight up that wall.
2 successes or by yourself.
Yeah, you can have 2 successes to the group, or you can
Remember what has happened every other time you've gone by yourself.
John doesn't.
John doesn't.
Yes.
John is too like I'm in the moment. He
His
just
blood is
goes
up.
up and just pulls himself up.
And as you pull yourself up on the edge of this, the rest of the group would see you also kind of wave forward and stop as you see that this isn't a roof. What this wall once connected to up top is gone. This is just a collapsed section, a pile of rubble some 10 feet down below you, and just a little bit of what clings to the top of this wall and the corners and the structures on the outside of it that you're balancing across. It's very shakily kind of leads out towards where Fontaine.
And then can I also just kind of turn around and reach down to try to aid the next person up? Can I prepare for that? Or
you there's one action, let you do it, yeah.
yeah, I just reach down. Whoever's next, I can't really judge. So you're gonna have to do all the work for yourself. But once you have my hand, I'll pull you up.
You can aid somebody who is trying to pass this objective with athletics.
What if I just want to turn into a tree?
Then you can do whatever you want.
Tree powers activate.
Well, I'm not using athletics, that's for sure. I'm going to keep doing what goblins do best, acrobatics and climb.
This one is
It's-
athletics.
This is
or
athletics and perception. Yep.
Athletics
Oh,
or
it's perception or... Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
You're used to the streets where you just
Athletics is 17, perception 22.
Yeah, athletics is super easy compared
Athletics is
to.
5.
You know what? I am actually trained in athletics. It's,
Go for it.
technically, I am.
Let me get that
You're gonna
aid.
get the aid first.
Do you make it worse?
It's a 10. No. Sorry. It's a 14 because I had the +4 to aid.
Okay, so then you don't make it.
I don't make it
but
worse.
you
Don't make it worse.
Floblin,
That's
I said
First.
aim for my hand. I felt Floblin's hand was like
So-
immediately.
The love. It's real. It's a love-hate relationship.
It's mostly hate.
Is it?
love, hate.
Fair.
Floblin, what do you get?
Blackjack, 21.
21 will succeed. You kind of jump up, and as he lets go, you're gonna put a success on the card here. Woo!
Not failing. That's important.
Darren.
All right.
Coming back up here, or are you going to stay down there?
I'm looking up at that wall. I'm gonna try to make my way forward on the streets. I'll try to cut her off. And I'm gonna try to navigate my way down here to try to follow the sound of her, like, audible exertion noises. It's like I'm listening to a women's tennis match.
Kind of come down, so it's not. This has come down from the level it started. This is probably like a second-story rooftop is where they are now, much more in view. Give me order to roll, good sir.
So you can have these 2 cards. As he goes to cross the street, a cart just goes like right in front of him. He stops just before getting trampled and like kicking off and just running again. And then the cart right behind it comes and hits me. So that's a 13 and kind of spins him around.
He's trying.
Which way was that again?
Arden, you on the left.
Oh, God, I'm so glad I remembered to bring these. He'll reach back into his pack and he'll actually pull out a little pair of like spy goggles, like little binoculars, like a little spyglass, and he'll kind of go, "Oh yeah, she's by the cliff. Look at that. Look at her go." And I'm gonna try perception.
Rooftop away. Give me a perception check.
The binoculars are on backwards, so she looks really small.
It's Arden. It's Arden. Yeah, that's Arden.
Wisdom.
Oh no.
That is a 5. But you know what? I actually legitimately hate both of these cards. They are so we're just gonna reroll that.
Siphon.
Chase scene.
This chasing is everything I hoped it would be.
Oh no.
You know what?
Oh, no.
5. It just is.
Oh no.
What did I roll? Perception. That's gonna be a 18.
Not a critical failure.
Not a critical failure.
But she does maybe
Look,
have-
look! I can see something. Wait. Do I have these? They're backwards.
And Fontaine stops on that far rooftop.
If you stop running, I'll buy
Turns
you a
around to
beer.
look towards the group of you and sees John up top and Floblin working his way up the wall. And you kind of reaching down. She didn't see you. Too slow on Floblin. And focusing on
again.
John, pulls a hand around and incants something, kind of muttering. She's got across the street at this point. You can't really hear what she says, but you feel a yank at your legs. Make me a reflex save.
I need you to stop with the magic. I know that's you, Fontaine.
I feel like this is sort of justice.
It's completely justice.
Skips
Reflex.
ahead, gets pulled back.
A total of 15.
A 15 is going to fail, and as you're leaning over, this force is going to pull back on your legs and trip you, and John is going to fall down the towering wall back to the party.
All right.
You know where we'd all be right now if you hadn't went ahead by yourself.
And she yells back out to the group of you, "It wasn't me! I haven't done anything! Leave me alone!"
That's the point.
I don't think it was you.
We're trying to help you. But you don't even give us a chance to talk?
Do we look
And she,
official?
I'd be
One of
shooting you if I wanted
somebody
you dead.
make me a diplomacy check.
I'll make a diplomacy check.
Please, God, yes.
I'll make the diplomacy check.
You sure you don't want me to do it?
Yes, I'm positive. You want to give me the Malachite?
No.
No.
Don't.
Oh no, what have you done?
Never learn for experience.
I mean, it's better than what I've been rolling over here.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Nah.
that's what you get.
Yeah, you want to give me extra hero point? No.
Give you an extra.
No. 10.
That's not that bad.
And with a
It's better
10,
than what you guys would have
you
rolled.
call out, she is going to turn to continue trying to make her escape. But she's not going to go a card this turn. She cast a spell and then was trying to talk to you. I didn't even roll the intimidate because she's literally untrained.
I want her to intimidate
It's
me.
literally a small woman yelling at you.
Intimidate me. Roll it. Roll it.
This is what John.
21.
She passes, but I'm fearless. Bravery.
It's literally just the raw charisma, and I rolled a 17. So. All right, team.
Well,
I'm gonna keep doing.
Crimson Nexus got to re-roll that diplomacy. Let it go.
I know my chat's like super.
Mine's doing too.
I'm
but he
disconnected.
did.
My
Yeah.
Twitch chat is totally breaking.
Mine is too.
He actually got it like almost right when he said it.
Hand him the card.
Reroll the diplomacy. All right, give me your card.
There's the
Do
card.
it. Do it.
All right,
Next.
I'll roll my die this time.
That's right.
That's right.
Believe.
There's reroll.
Give him the believe rock. Hold the believe rock in the other hand.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
There we
downloaded
go.
an update, so mine's been a little.
Hey.
That's a 17 on the die, so for a total of a 23.
Okay, well, 23. She stops. She visibly kind of uncertain. She's not. You seem sincere. You clearly have a large gun and aren't shooting at her. She freezes. She's for the moment no longer attempting to move forward. But she's still got some distance. She's still very like on edge and skittish. But she's still at the far end of that chasm.
Ma'am?
Listen, while y'all are talking to her, I'm gonna try and figure out this wall. Perception again. 18.
All right,
Just doing a thinker.
She's looking.
this worked last time. John backs up to what he thinks is the starting points I had the first time and makes a mad dash for it again. For a total of -1 still, so 22.
I just put a success on the board. You're up there with Floblin.
Right here.
If anything, I'd return the favor. I'm like,
I'm just holding
but
on to.
I kind of do that.
I'm just holding on to the
That's a
edge.
noise, is it?
He's doing this, and you're like at head height. And he just reaches above you. But one more, I believe, one more success. We'll
we
be
are
all
on
past
three.
the towering wall as you kind of cooperatively move on here.
Darren's going to look both ways this time and try to cross the street.
Okay, Boy Scout.
Okay,
You're
it's
gonna get run
Darren.
over.
Ah, that is a 21 athletics.
Success. So you will move one forward on the street below to the backside of this, where it looks like there is a rain gutter that you can climb up to the edge of this sort of shaky bit around the corner. They can't easily access it from this little connection point they're at, but you could use this to climb up.
Cool.
I mean, you would need to do that.
Oh, I
next
will do that
turn.
next turn. Okay, yeah.
That is a wall. That is a wall, and I cannot see over it. Can I get a
I
hand?
just reach my hand down.
And I'll kind of spider climb to kind of get
Wait a
up
minute.
a little, kind of like trying to get his hand and stay balanced at the same time.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna roll athletic.
Athletics with a +1 for your spider climb, and then his aid.
All right, I'll take it.
Hey.
It's an 18 on the die, plus 20 total,
So
or
plus
more than
3
20.
total then.
Wow. Okay. What? This
That's not bad.
is good.
Positives.
No, this dice is cursed today.
You could roll some out.
The amount of critical failures.
It's actually over a 30 to 31.
There we go. That's
The amount of critical successes that came out of the man with no trained relevant skills.
20s forehead
Just roll 20.
Just roll 20s.
That's just you.
15.
is 17.
I
So,
know, but it's
you,
not a critical failure.
You're reaching. You get Arden's hand. It's weirdly sticky.
Why is it sticky?
Oh, I had.
Don't ask.
I think I'd rather have Floblin's hands.
I think we just have Floblin left, I believe.
Yep. So I'm already on top of the wall, right? So.
Well,
No.
You're making your way up the wall.
Oh well.
we need
I'm,
one more
I
success.
psyched you and didn't.
Well,
grab your
I'm
hand.
just gonna. What's the DC on the athletics? 17.
17.
This wall
Make it or
is
break
the-
it.
This is
Make it or
Make it or
break
break it.
We
Make it
built
or
this
break
wall
it.
for like 3 rounds.
We are having an easier time with this wall
You know
than
what?
we did the starting card.
I'm going
Are
to
you?
fuel the fire.
3 people fell on the starting card.
Floblin is he kind of loses footing for a second, but then catches his grip.
Catches his grip.
If
Stop
it
that.
goes in the tray,
Stop that.
sorry,
Believe in the power of Levico.
much better.
Ooh. There's no way that doesn't succeed, right?
That's an 18.
Nice.
succeeds.
That's
And
Just.
the group of
It's
you,
a chain now.
through your
Just-
collaborative stupid, force
Through some miracle.
up this wall to this thin,
Acrobatics.
shaky
perception.
thank
bit
God.
of rubble. Acrobatics and perception on this one is the balance.
You
that's
said
so much better.
acrobatics, and that's
So
all I
you're
needed
now
to know.
Up on the ledge where you can sidle, make your way down to the corner, to drop down to the rooftop, to jump to where Fontaine is. You're in a position up above her, and she looks up at the group of you. If you mean that, just leave me be. I don't know who you're for, but nothing good will come out. The whole city, please just leave.
Lady, if you want to stay safe, you're gonna need somebody to protect you, and we'll make sure no one tries to kill you.
I can handle myself.
You're kind of small, and those wasps almost killed you. Maybe you should ask for help.
And she does kind of stop and look at one hand, and you see her hand another spell, and this sort of white glow spreads up to her fingertips, and she just sort of gently touches
Using heal?
around her face and neck. She's using soothe.
Soothe for wasp
She's
stings?
pretending she wasn't stunned.
There's a lot of wasp stings.
I guess.
And she takes a couple of steps back from the edge as she does this, away from you.
Is she still hurt?
That would probably heal the wasp
Oh,
stings.
okay.
As she looks behind her to the rickety rooftops, where those would lead. Not bolting for it yet, but readying to. And team friends.
I'll kind of look at the shaky ground, and I'll kind of assess it. And Arden will kind of start to almost hop from one place to the other, kind of avoiding the places that look unsteady, but kind of creating a path in his head, kind of calling out what the safe places are as he kind of moves across.
Okay. So this is the acrobatics or perception? 'Cause I can definitely
Acrobatics.
say either. All right, fair enough.
For the hippity hop.
For the hippity
And this one
hoppity.
does only notably take 3 successes to pass by. They're not all 4. They are variable.
That's still going to be a 15.
Exact.
15 puts a success on the card as Arden starts to make progress.
John, I'm still seeing double. He's calling out spots, and I see 3 right there. So you know what? Thanks for the help and everything, but the only thing I can do now is just run forward and do acrobatics.
Run,
Just cartwheel across.
go for it. Just send it.
13 on the die with a -1 still. So
12.
no. 18.
18 succeeds.
Success.
Good
Yep.
success as you guys
As you see him not even hit the spot Arden was calling, and it's going other places.
So I see them making some progress. I'm gonna try to get up there so that they can take me with them if they once I can see.
Please don't succeed without me!
Oh god, no! I try to kind of balance up this fallen gutter as I kind of run up.
falls back down.
Acrobatics of 17.
17, we'll see Darren make his way up, and the group of you would see him sort of clamber up the side of this, behind the group of you,
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
with some of this tonic just smeared across his,
party's back together.
neck and shoulder here.
I'm going to use my little goblin legs and hop across as much as I can with some acrobatics.
And if that's third success, I think it's going to carry the whole party. That's a 14 on the dice. Nobody
Yeah,
failed.
yeah.
It's going to carry the whole party
I critically
to the
succeeded.
far corner where you can all drop down into this cloud of very agitated wasps. And you are now, this is wasps swarming around the base of this drop on this flat rooftop before you. But then it's the gap, and Fontaine is just at the other side, backing off, kind of looking at her escape. Inching back as you approach, with breath left.
Gonna try and use survival as I put together an improvised black powder smoke bomb.
Gun. By the power of... You mean power of gun.
Basically, I'm gonna load my gun with about 3 charges and then fire in their general direction with just charges of powder, so it's just a big
Smoke.
You don't have to pack them, just
Yeah.
have the oozing
Yep.
out of your gun. You have just improvised beekeeping tool.
Wow. That is the third nat 20.
I take
that
it
the
back.
second
Every
one?
gunslingers do anything. They just shoot it with their gun and it just works. I swear, that's how that
Where-
works. That's how they tie their shoes. They just
Move
There,
to
go.
this gap.
hello, Fontaine. Improvised smoke gun.
As you're smoking this out, you move to this
Can I
gap.
flip that?
I don't think it matters. You're all past this. No
It's
way to
funny.
behind this point. You
Gun killed
clearing
3
this
cards.
out with this landing for you to jump. Fontaine at the far side is going to move to the next card because she is already at the far side of this jump here. And seeing you approach, again, turns to dart towards this angled, scattered, ramshackle rooftop here with as many bare supporting wooden beams as there are patches of ceramic shingles.
Athletics and perception.
It's a towering wall, but not nearly as bad.
Yeah, the DCs are much lower.
What's the DC on athletics?
15.
15.
Perception is 17.
Okay.
This is basically that.
It's baby towering wall.
I'm just gonna go ahead and get mine out of the way because at this point it's
John
very
is
just,
clearly not hanging out with the team.
I'm not hanging out with the team because I'm still seeing double and I can't help with perception at all.
He's not hanging out with the team because he feels upset.
I got casted magic on me twice now. I'm gonna go take a third charge for you. 10 on the die for a total of a 18.
18
That
with
is
one
a
success
point.
on the card. As you're kind of
Just
readying,
back up.
you test the edge a little bit, test the back. Wasps are gone. There's a good space here.
There's nowhere in the city
Wait,
where you're safer aside from helping us.
I don't even know who you are. Please, just
Did
leave
we
me.
not introduce
But we know
ourselves?
who you are, and so do a lot of others.
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
that's true. Well, I mean, I'm going to use perception to look at the chasm while I'm talking. I mean, realistically, the not a critical failure. That's a 10 DC 17.
Yep, that's Pip.
Yeah, there's not really an easy way to get across this pit, but I can hold up my badge. I don't know how well you can see it, but we are working for the guard.
I get the feeling.
Speed doubles.
Yeah, I think that
We're
was the
not
wrong thing
working
to tell her.
We're not working for the Hell Knights.
Have you learned
not
anything
Hell
from
Knights.
Arden?
Well, we're not Hell Knights and we're not an angry mob. Of the three options,
I'm gonna look at the chasm and try to judge how far across it is. Kind of just holding up his spyglass again, backwards. It works better backwards.
I just love that Wrath has just stood here seeing every single obstacle. It's either immediate
It's
gun
think or gun.
I can't gun
That's
this.
all Reth has done.
I can't gun this hole.
you can tell how many natural 20s I rolled by how many cards are flipped.
It's gonna be a 23.
23 is
On
a
perception.
success, but you see that below this, you don't have to necessarily make this jump raw. There is a laundry line anchored across this that you might be able to use as a kind of catch point, almost kind of bounce your way across. It's too narrow to balance properly, but enough to maybe give you one extra step.
Oh, that
distance.
could be good.
Take it,
actually,
Darren.
let me see. So Darren's going to run down there and try to use that punch point to get over to the other side, and he can actually leave an end of his rope on that side too to kind of create a better path for them to come forward.
Okay, athletics.
Athletics is 13.
Failed.
13.
Close.
You get out. And,
Clothesline.
All right, wait a minute. That's further apart than I thought it was. Hang on.
That's why you need these.
Now it's even further away.
Floblin.
Well, I'm going to use my goblin eye this time and see if I can find a better route for myself to, shimmy across.
Possibly like a ladder,
So-
a bridge.
There's actually a
walkway.
bridge right there.
Perception.
Can you get it?
Terrible. at
That was
guys.
impressive.
That's a 15 on the die, so
DC 17.
Yeah.
so 21.
As you look there and you look behind you and you see there's like a 15-foot ladder behind you back against this wall.
Oh, I literally just go.
And the group of you move forth to the rickety rooftops, which Fontaine is already quickly scrambling her way up and over. And you see her slip as she reaches the apex of this roof and spin around and fall and kind of hit the ground that's sort of hard, knocking the wind out of her as she very much slips on the other side. The back side of this a bit smoothened, exposed perhaps more of the sun, baked, and maybe just a huge
Ooh.
pile up of
Yeah.
imp nesting, bird crap. It's much more difficult footing over there.
I like how the awning looks like it was added as an afterthought to kind of keep that from falling on whomever was
So-
there.
This
That
is
sounds
just
like the shingles,
this
yeah.
is a natural occurrence in the shingles. We put this awning here to keep us from getting goopy.
Put her on the slippery scramble.
All right, he's in.
Speaking
So-
of slippery scrambles.
I have quick jump. I know it doesn't really apply to much of this, but I should be jumping instead of running.
Okay.
So now we're just gonna be doing quick hops.
What are the checks on the rooftop?
DC 15 acrobatics, DC 13 athletics.
Ooh, second one's athletics?
Yep.
Ooh,
And it is
okay.
lower.
And
But
it
your
is
quick
lower.
jump, it is sort of a compared to everything you've done so far, a relatively easy obstacle. I'll definitely give you +1 for quick jump on this.
Cool, it cancels
you can jump
haste.
like nearly half of this. Yeah, you're in a neutral now because you're still dazzled for like 4 more rounds.
Just gotta roll a 13. That's the number I'm looking for.
You have +10?
I have +9.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, or sorry, 14.
You cut on a 14. That's pretty good.
Yep. I'm bringing the team with me this time, kids.
Right to ground
I
level.
succeeded.
You put a success on there.
I got a success. 16.
You see him kind of jump halfway up this.
This is easy.
You have no idea how tempted I am to roll the thing I have no proficiencies for.
Do it.
No, you haven't.
Rocket jump.
Rocket jump. I don't have it yet.
That's not how that works.
All right, so I think I see what you're
learning.
doing, John. Let me see.
There's a foot there.
It's
There's
a
a foot there.
foot there, foot there. Okay, here we go. Let's try athletics also. Following John. See if we can do this.
A trailblazer.
There we go. That's a 24.
Critical
Yeah, it's a
success.
critical
That was athletics?
Yep.
Yep.
And you, the 13, right?
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
Should be.
athletics,
Athletics,
yes.
DC 13.
Yes.
Cool.
I was
You
looking
have-
at the acrobatics.
As you jump up, you actually displace another chunk of shingles, so revealing enough of these like support girders underneath that it's basically just an angled ladder, allowing all of you to very easily scramble up to the top where Fontaine is. So you have caught up to Fontaine. Whatever any of you want to do with like an action's worth of rounds, you can do. You are at her.
So we don't have to succeed at this card.
She hasn't succeeded at that card. You're caught up to her. That's the slippery scramble down the backside.
Does she look hurt?
She looks terrified.
Tackle.
Athletics check.
I've definitely still got an action's worth of I can try to tackle her.
Yeah,
as well.
anyone who's gone already can use one action. You have it as a 3.
21.
21 will succeed as you launch yourself up over the edge of this roof. You get a hold of her arm, and you're kind of on one side of the peak of the roof, and she's on the other. She's trying to twist away. You've got a hold of her. It's not a great grip, but you've got like the top of her, like the shoulder of her sleeve.
Don't. We're not here to
Which one
hurt
do I want to
you.
help grab? I'm gonna attempt to grab two. More hands on her.
She's flat-footed. I don't know if that matters.
That's 4 DCs.
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't matter
yeah.
for flat-footed, but you can.
Matters for guns.
DC 5 flat check to target anything. So now I'm just targeting her. So the DC
Yeah,
5
give me
flat check.
Grab Darren by mistake.
12.
All right.
So grapple for a 13.
13. Yeah, you are reaching up. You're also there.
I'm grabbing the wrong one.
You're grabbing
That's my arm. Hey.
I really don't like that you use 2 magic spells on me. That's really upsets me.
It bothers me you're tugging on my sleeve as you say that.
And she's I'm still just trying to worm away her. Please, if you take me back to the guard, I won't survive the night. I won't survive the day. The queen is the one that's after me. I'm sure of it. This city is corrupted. If there's any good in your heart, please.
The marshal believes you. They're trying to force her out, but she's not out yet. She's trying to find the truth. She needs you to do it.
We're trying to take you back to the one place where you may not get killed. We promise.
She's still attempting to escape.
I
here.
will put my gun away and be like, this whole time, I could have been shooting at you. We could have been trying to kill you. If we were part of any of the people who want you dead, we'd just kill you. We are probably one of a very small group of people trying to help.
Do realize that the Hell Knights are looking for you, and they will find you.
Diplomacy me real quick. Party, give me a roll for the party.
And give you the roll for the party.
Yeah.
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Here's all this here, as Darren's got a hold of her. She kind of stops kicking away and puts her weight down the roof and just kind of slumps over this.
Into the goop.
Darren's basically just got a hold of her like this, and she kind of just puts her head down, like almost right next to yours on the peak of the roof. I didn't kill the king. I haven't done any of this.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
don't want to die. Please.
Darren, get off of her. Darren,
It'll be fine.
Darren, look at her. She looks like
I guess now we can clear all these cards away and actually see the picture, huh?
She looks terrified.
Well, I mean, it's understandable.
And I think here we successfully
I don't like her.
run her down across the shingles.
You murder people. You don't like anyone.
I like everyone except
Take our
Floplin.
mid-show break. I went to do the shout-outs for the sponsors till here, because I really like the Sirenscape, like the music even, all of that.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
Fully pre-built sound set for the Shingles chase. And
Nice.
it's freaking great. So thanks to Sirenscape, Norse Foundry. Even when your dice hate us, they give us wonderful,
They don't
wonderful
hate us.
adventures.
He made a
love me.
deal
They love.
with
He
the
has
devil.
made a deal with Satan for the power
As Modius, sir.
of the Malachites. There's a lot of Pathfinder Satans. It's not
All of his
necessarily
friends
as
just
It's
noble.
die.
Asmodeus.
It's Super Devil. That's what he's got.
Super Devil.
Arquebus. That's the name of the super devil. Arquebus.
And of
much.
course, Paizo. For putting this together and providing this chase deck, which
Oh my
was
God.
all of the solid memes
That was the
that I
most
thought it was
fun
going
thing.
to be.
That was amazing.
I love this. That
was great.
Really cool.
Super fun, actually.
Interesting thing is they're labeled by environments.
They are. The deck is actually huge. It is the full. It's the full, like I think 50 cards. And what I did was I just went through, and they are by environment. They're most. I took out the urban deck. Took out the super high level ones that you guys were not going to succeed, like the DC 25s and stuff.
Oh, but the 22s were okay.
Yeah, that's only a level 4 obstacle. You guys get plus
Hey.
1, you're fine.
I know.
I mean, the really interesting
They
thing.
level the
They
obstacles.
are levels. There's level 1,
Team.
2, I think 1, 2, 4, and 6.
Didn't fall off the roof team.
Didn't
Because like if
fall.
you're higher than that level, it's like I can't fly, and then
Yeah,
like,
no, that's
you're
it.
kind of beyond the point of using those gritty kind of chase cards. But
Right.
it's 1, 2, 4, and 6. They have wilderness, general, urban, and underground. And a lot of them are across, like the Wasp Swarm is wilderness, but I was like, that fits in perfectly for this. It was mostly the urban cards. I like the little patch of fungus. I had Wandering Monster from underground in here.
Nice.
Which didn't come up for just being like either a pack of imps or a choker or something you had to get past.
Another, what's the thing that we fought that bushed out of the sewers?
An Otyugh.
Roof Otyugh.
You mean the poop monster?
The demon on the roof. It's super neat, actually. I'm glad they sent. I didn't ask for it. They just sent me this in the pack of things that they gave me out with all the cards and stuff to use for stream. And it was really freaking cool.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you could even replace some of the scenarios because they're balanced with social stuff, and you could actually create
there
like a
are-
social maze
There are
with them.
absolutely like society and diplomacy and intimidate checks
That's
in here.
incredible.
We
you
drew like none of them, but there's
you could
quite
create
few.
like a social like thing where like you're in a party and you're trying to get through it. Like if you want it to be kind of
Someone's
cool.
trying to excuse
Twisting
themselves politely.
Alleyways had society. Construction site had diplomacy or intimidation.
That's so interesting.
There's stealth on Wandering Monster. There's Rat Swarm, which has intimidation, and that's just the ones that I have in here.
That's
Get out of here,
amazing.
rats!
Go,
Yeah.
Get you!
But also, we haven't done any cool map stuff today necessarily because I'm playing with the cards. But Arkenforge, our newest sponsor, is providing us with the cool art that we can, a place to host the cool art we can put on stream here, and a place to build and run all of our various maps. Neat little virtual tabletop. We got a discount code for them down there. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go too far, everybody. We have now caught Fontaine, but the question is, well, what does she may know or not know, and then what do we do with her? This is really catching her is just a hook.
Protective custody.
She's a cute blonde. We're just gonna protect her.
What a wonderful chase it was. Welcome back, everybody. As we left off, we had successfully run down Fontaine, who... Why are you giving me the things are wrong look?
The transition between.
Oh, whatever, it's fine then. I don't care that much. We had successfully run down Fontaine across the Shingles, a mad dash through the rooftops above the Midland district, which she was quite familiar, but we had the strength of there are 5 of us on our side, and that was enough to overcome her advantage of terrain familiarity. But currently, we are at the apex of a very derelict rooftop. haphazardly slapped across a building high up in the shingles. 2 stories above as this kind of angles up. Many of the, ironically, shingles on this building having been broken or smacked away, leaving much of just these wooden support beams beneath them. We're all kind of grouped at the apex of this, where this chase ended. The Fontaine, now laying out, kind of just strewn across the top. Darren's still got a hold of her sleeve, making sure she doesn't bolt,
Fall off the roof. Yeah, that too.
fall off the roof.
You always say haphazardly. It's haphazardly, and
Yeah,
every time you
haphazardly.
do it, no, every
Well,
time
it's
you
not
Like
full
half of the
hazardly.
hazard. Yeah, it's not
Just
like
half of the hazard.
I'm
if
gonna
there's
have
still
a
some
stroke.
shingles, it's only
No.
haphazardly.
No, it's not. how
It's
that works.
correct. It's English. You do whatever you want. You understood what he meant.
English is just whatever you want. That's how
As
that
long as
works.
as long as the listener understands.
That's how
Sorry, I
language
said it.
works.
Yeah.
That's how language works.
That hurts so much.
Language is amazing.
Having caught up to her here, with her immediately in front of you, and with a good look at her face, this is certainly the woman from the sketches that the Hell Knights had the previous evening. This is definitely the girl that they were looking for. She doesn't look nearly as well done up. She has some sort of ramshackle chainmail underneath, just a simple red cloth vest drawn over it. That doesn't look like it fits her terribly well. And this is kind of bunched in places. It's clearly something she just got to have. And she's, like, even as she kind of lays here, exhausted, visibly sort of malcontent in it. But she breaks down as the group of you catch her. I don't want to die. Please.
Come here. You're not gonna die.
We need your help to clear your name and find out who actually did this.
Can you turn
The
the
marshal
magic off?
herself is investigating this.
Can you turn the magic off? Because I'm getting tired of seeing double floblin.
Just full of
It'll-
complaints, aren't
It'll
you?
fade. I should. And,
Listen here.
what? You still? Are you blind? I've never seen it last that long. It's not long enough.
He's uncommonly
The wizard said it will only
dense.
last a few seconds.
Well, it's lasted a very, very longer than a few seconds, and a few seconds more.
Might
Anyways,
have been you running face first into that wall.
It did catch you right in the face.
it did catch you. Anyways, you're not going to die as long as I have anything to say about it, unless you did kill the king, which I don't think you did.
I didn't. I didn't.
See?
Please.
Trust that.
I
Once of an honest woman.
tell you everything, but there's nothing to tell you. I don't know why. I don't know where this rumor came from.
She's
I don't know why everyone's hunting me.
she a scapegoat?
What?
What?
Scapegoat. Isn't that what it's called?
You
think
mean
you're-
scapegoat?
Yeah, I think you're going for a word a little different than that, which is awful funny coming from someone who was just talking about misusing words.
So,
Yeah.
I think the easiest thing to do is to just get off the roofs.
Well, we can't take her back to the Citadel. We have to get her to the Marshal's men. They'll get her safe, and we can do investigations there.
The second thing I think is very important. Where were you
I
when
don't know who this marshal is, but if you have guard badges, if you're with the guard, the Queen's men, you're the Queen's men.
Well, working with, not employed by. The guard badges so that we can do what we have to do, and then the guards don't arrest us.
We're taking you to the academy grounds. There's people there that'll keep you safe.
Here.
Will it get me out of Korvosa?
You're gonna take this, and it's gonna help.
So,
Is it magic?
Well, kind of.
If you throw it at somebody, it'll hurt them.
it will hurt like this. Throw man at wrath.
It's a gift, but we promise you, we don't mean you any harm. We're gonna take you someplace safe.
How do you activate it?
Oh,
You gotta
take it.
you gotta believe.
You take it and you rub it, and then you feel.
No,
a
that
lot
was my
better.
rock. Is that another believe rock? Do you have
It's
more than
not
one?
really magic, I don't think. I think it's mostly mundane, but it makes me feel good.
I made them.
Just sort of puts it on a beam next to her and it just starts kind of sliding down the backside of the roof, down the shingle. And it just tumbles off the edge and is gone.
I rock.
Someone who needs it will find it.
It's on its way to inspire someone else.
Well,
Ow, my head.
probably need to get you under cover. We can't have people seeing your face on the streets. I've got a. Do you have a bedroll or a blanket with you?
Why would I carry a bedroll?
You
I
carry literally everything
Here's my
else.
bedroll.
That's what I thought.
You don't look like guards. You said you're not.
I'm a farmer.
Wait,
Throw a bedroll over her head.
You're kidnapped.
Just keep that face hidden.
Well,
We have to.
where is
off
it
the
again?
roof
Let's get
first.
us down
I'm
from the
gonna
roof
climb
first.
down with a bedroll over my head.
You just need to be more careful. Just keep a hold of me.
Up
Where
over
is
my
it we were
shoulder.
supposed to take her.
To the academy gates.
It's been. Look, we went to the academy.
That's where we were
We
told.
just get there up here. Why disguise is in the ground? Why don't we just
Can
move
we
through
get there
the
from up
shingles?
here? Where?
Of course.
Show me the route.
Well, if we can just
You
avoid
promise.
it.
You have to promise me. Wherever you're taking me, whatever this is, they're not just going to take my head. Please.
Of course.
We're just escorts to get you there safely. If
I-
you wanted your head, I'd feed you to the people down there.
I swear on my brother's life.
Oh, there's about.
Who? Darren's the one who took 2 falls, right?
Yeah, I took 2 falls.
But you healed yourself. a
I did
little
heal
bit,
myself
so like
a
you
bit.
and Floblin and Arden are all equally 1 falled.
That's
lucky.
probably well, yeah.
well, I can fix that real quick.
I mean,
if you really need to.
I have some goop smeared on me. I might
was gonna say,
look a little beat
He
up.
kind of looks up at you because you're the closest. You're the one that grabbed a hold of her and threw his bedroll over, and it's just. Or smart. And you see this some white glow come out of her fingers. Please. And she just sort of touches around where this goo is, like on the side of your neck here, and you feel this sort of warm, almost calming sensation. And you are going to get 30 health back.
Jeez.
Okay.
What is max roll for 300?
I mean, if I could have broken the shoulder, it'd have been fun
It
now.
wasn't max.
That's a nice gesture. Thank you.
That doesn't look like healing I've seen before.
It's not, certainly not what they teach down at the academy. I've never really studied it proper. I just worked on it in my own time.
Oh, you dropped this, by the way.
I only bought it a few days ago.
Is that what you used? That's very good. I like that.
Well, it worked. The wizard didn't short sell me. That much is certain.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I can't imagine I'll have much use for it now. I keep it, I guess.
As you'd like.
Well,
Well,
harm in having it.
let's make our way over. Sooner we get you somewhere undercover, better.
This. Let me help a little, if you will.
Well, won't say no.
I'm at this point just sitting on the ground, my head between my legs, just trying to get the dizzies
Your
out.
elbows up on the awning of the roof here. Acceleratio. And the spell kind of rolls out over the group of you. And she is going to cast haste on the party
Zoom.
Huh.
to help with some of the worst gaps. If we're headed. I don't want to go. I know you trust this marshal or whatever, but please just let.
You aren't safe anywhere. They will.
Not in Korvosa, but
Do you have a way out of the city right now? The whole place is locked down.
I have an out, but it'll take a couple of days. But
Look,
By the time a couple of days passes, you could have been found and killed by some random passers-by.
Well,
We
the
had
Hell
your
Knights.
address.
how did
Someone else would have had it too. Let's get you to our safe house. We can start that ball rolling and maybe get you out of the city.
And
Someone in the official know-how knows exactly where you stay. You're lucky that we got it first.
and if they won't help you, I promise you, I'll get you to my friends, and they will take you someplace safe.
Why is this happening?
Well, because the king died and someone's got to take the blame.
Well, why me? I haven't been to
Convenient?
Castle Korvosa in weeks.
Nah, it's convenient.
I was only in there to make a painting. They still have it in Adrian's chambers.
Did they do?
Did you notice anything while you were there, maybe?
It was in the castle?
And anything strange?
I don't know. Like they came in through the servants' passage, and they escorted me up to Adrian's chambers. Usually, he was there by himself. Of course, those appointments. He's a busy man. I was sure. Sometimes, as his wife was there, and she left us to our business, and it was usually only about an hour or so of a session that the king could spare of his time while I worked on the portrait. It took weeks to finish. I put everything into that. It was painted as a portrait for the king of the whole city, and they wanted me to do it. It was.
How did you get the job?
They had a festival a few months prior, and at the festival, they had a competition. I submitted one of my works of the Castle Korvosa itself, and I was chosen.
Sounds like that was the worst mistake of your life.
If I would have known now, of course I would have left it, but
Did the king look
they paid more coin than I've ever seen.
Yeah, of course. Did the king look different over the weeks that you were painting him? Anything that you noticed, maybe, that might have looked odd or out of sorts?
Well, I mean, he fell ill. I imagine it was the same. I don't know. That was public knowledge, wasn't it? The king hasn't been well. That was the first. That was the story when he passed. Was that the illness had taken him. I don't know why. There's this whole rumor about him being killed, much less by me. He did visibly get worse during some of the last few sessions. He wasn't well off at all.
But you got a good... Did you paint the picture with him? Did you update the picture to look?
Of course not.
Okay.
Why would one would want that?
Of course. I don't know why I was thinking it.
Honestly,
Sounds like the queen might have jumped to conclusions about who did something to the king.
I don't think she was terribly fond of me, but not to do something like this. Did she find something? Was there some reason? If you were the guards that this marshal sent you to harm me, what is the reason? Why was the evidence?
Nobody's been told anything, which is why we're trying to get you a fair trial.
I think you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think you were just convenient.
A convenient outsider to blame?
I mean, honestly, why paint a portrait of the king now? This isn't any particularly special time. If it could have been set up like that, maybe they wanted her.
The King Adrian's had this same festival and this same competition for some years. There is a great many places a portrait of the king could be used. I never expected it to be hung in his own halls. I didn't think he'd favor it that much. What, museums or libraries, the castle? I imagine the guards, the citadel, probably.
Sorry, I'm not from the city, so I didn't know if he had done this before.
Does he... How does she... Do I believe her?
Make a perception check.
Guess I'll make one too.
21.
She is
21.
an accused criminal.
She does seem terrified, but you don't get any.
16.
You don't get any signs of her. There's no tells, nothing obvious, nothing she says contradictory. But as with a 21, as she talks to you, as she relaxes, maybe a strong word, but panic subsides a little bit. Really transforming to dread here. She is extremely personable. You get the feeling that whether or not she were lying to you, it's possible that she could be quite good at it should she wanted to. So it's hard for you to really judge. But she's going to push herself up on the edge of this rooftop. This magic won't last terribly much longer. If we want to make our way towards the academy while it still lingers, at least closer.
If you're feeling confident. Yeah.
Our first jump is back the way we came, and it's some gap.
You mean the
Let's
one
get
he put
to
the
it.
ladder over? Or
You found it? Where did you find a ladder?
Oh, yeah, it was right over there.
Floblin
leaning.
found it up against that wall, yeah.
That makes it a fair bit easier, I suppose.
He makes himself useful every now and then.
I mean, I try to do the best I can.
I didn't even see that ladder.
I didn't
And
either.
she'll clamber back over to like your side of the roof and kind of slowly, hand over hand, her way down the side of this rooftop into the ladder, and ahead of the group of you, if nobody stops her, could lead you back
Yep.
She knows the way.
west towards the academy.
She knows we can catch up to her.
Pretty hard to hold a conversation while you're doing all this crazy crap through the shingles here, but now she's not attempting to take the hardest path possible. The going is much easier as you're pathing across like quickly made bridges, little more than beams laid across these gaps, or going through staircases and ladders on the sides of buildings, rope passageways across the things that were meant to be traversed, not what she was going for. She would very quickly lead the group of you out to where the shingles have come down, and to a rooftop, not the shingles. This would transition after a bit to just normal roofs of buildings, which over small streets are still relatively easily traversable, jumping from one angled rooftop across the gutters of the other, or to the flat surfaces of some, to about a block away and within clear view of the big campus of the Alabaster Academy. The whole time, she doesn't rush out ahead or anything. She does occasionally pause to ensure the group of you can stay with her. She clearly does not appear to be making any further attempts to bolt or to break away. But she seems to be about at the edge of tears the entire time. This last building here, you're hyperventilating, which is the stress of this.
Come here. Look at me. Breathe in. Breathe in deep.
I appreciate what you're trying to do. I do. If you mean well, if this isn't some trick, but I've tried my best to run from you. Clearly I can't, so I have to throw my lot in with you, whether I trust it or not.
I'm pretty stupid when it comes to women. So if you wanted to find someone who would manipulate you, you kind of came to the wrong guy.
Did you just try to hit on her?
I think you just.
What?
I think you
I
just
would
tried to
never
hit on
hit a
you.
woman.
I don't
This is weird. This is very weird.
know how you want me to respond to that, but
Hey, it's okay to just ignore him.
Just ignore him.
Sorry, not my first language.
where are we going?
She says the guards was posted the gates, right?
Right.
If we come down here, these eaves make it easy to climb down to this back alley.
Well.
It'll put us out right in front of the academy. It's the main road. The front of the academy is the main thoroughfares. It connects It's right next to Northeast Castle Road.
Before we go, one or two of us should go down and confirm that she's not about to get taken by some mobs or guards or nothing.
Well, I'll check it out.
I'll go down and search from the shadows.
I'll stay up here, and if you run into trouble, I'll make it go away.
10-4.
So you can't easily see the front of the academy grounds from here, but you can see the bit of Northeast Castle Road that leads up that way. But Floblin and Darren would quickly make their way down and over towards the front of the academy. You can see what you're rolling.
He wants to be
Sneaking.
Why?
Because he can.
Oh, I thought I was gonna sneak in and scout from like the shadow area or the alleyway area, if possible.
You make your way down to an alley generally near the front of the area where you can see the road passing in front of the academy. And
Well, I mean,
as the two of you approach, you can see that there are a small group of full regalia Korvosa guards stood out in front of the academy gates, which are still closed as they have been the whole time. The campus itself clearly visible through the wrought iron bars, about like 12 feet high, that encircle this, fairly ornately carved among their tops, with alternating heads of either imps in various degrees of different, almost caricatured emotions,
Caricature.
and haphazardly sort of stuck atop, forming almost like a strange iron mausoleum around the outside of this.
Mussolini?
Mussolini.
so should we just have our badges on and approach and act like nothing happened, or what do you think we should do?
Let's go and approach them real quick.
With or without the badge?
With them, but we'll flash them when we get up there. Or we could wear it. That works too. Sure. Just walk up to the guards, flash the badge.
Hi.
You're with the marshal.
With the guard, I. Are you,
We have a delivery to make.
of course. He motions to one of the other guards to come with him, leaving one back at the gateway here. Lead the way.
I'll lead him back to the alley.
The group you would see Darren and Flavin returning with a pair of guards, following him in the full plate with his tabard of the icon of Citadel Bolshevik.
If you walk her out there, chances are someone's gonna see.
Of course. I have a plan. Where is she?
I'll whistle up to the top.
Hey, Squid. Well, they were down there, and while she had kind of calmed down a little while we were moving, just kind of while she's sitting there, and like not thinking about it, I do want to look at her body language, her facial expressions, one more time, just to see if I can get a better read on her now that she's not so upset.
Maybe a perception check.
I trust her wholly. I just trust her wholly.
It's gonna be a 27.
The 27, you largely get what I told Darren. You've no overt reason to believe that she's double-crossing you, betraying you, but looking at her, I mean, it's hard to truly judge who somebody is.
Yeah.
But she is, like, if she is some kind of an assassin, she carries herself through the shingles and traversing through this area with almost no second thought. She does literally live here. She has a fairly lithe build that kind of lends herself to this, but none of that seems trained. You can see that she's got a dagger on her hip with a fairly ornate little handle and a very simple scabbard, sort of at odds with each other. But you've hung around with these people and the guards enough. Know in a situation like this, if you were so distressed, she doesn't even keep her hands near her dagger. It's not even something that occurs to her.
And
She's
it wouldn't
not even
be
like
ornate.
posed to draw it quickly
Yeah.
should something go wrong. Like she has it, but she doesn't like look like she has any idea how to really use it, like to protect herself in a pinch. As the guards approach, you see her eyes start to kind of well up, and you hear the whistle. And she takes a really deep breath. Stands up over the edge and looks down towards the group. And the guards look up. Why? Thank you. I thank you, and the marshal thanks you. And I'll say in the coming days, the city of Korvosa will thank you.
It's it bears some investigation. Something doesn't smell right about this.
You tell them if they hurt her, nothing will hide them from me.
I don't know what the marshal wants, but I put my faith in her to do what's right. I don't expect any different now.
I think she wants the truth.
And he reaches back to. He's got like a satchel at his back with kind of a white leather flap over the outside of it. Pulls it back and pulls out a small, little, almost like black bowler hat. But motions like he's going to toss it up to the roof, and then throws it up. And Fontaine grabs it from the edge. It's hard. The idea of us as disguise is me putting on a hat.
Honestly,
Give it a try.
it you know what? If you were gonna be that looks pretty. No, I have no idea what
It's
they're
less
doing.
conspicuous than the bedroll, to be fair.
You just sort of put it on her head. As you put it on, this motion continues down her body as her blonde hair transforms to almost short, almost military buzzed brown hair. Her jaw widens and squares. Her face becomes much more masculine. The shape of her shoulders and her body changes, and in a moment, you're looking at a completely different person.
Well,
You see-
that'll do it.
I don't think a hat is gonna change it.
Nope. Nope. It
Sir,
works.
please calm down. I believe the hat worked.
My gods.
Sometimes you just overthink things. All right, so we head down then?
I suppose.
After you.
She's still attractive as a guy, dude. That's weird.
And he will quickly make his way down the eaves of the ground as well. The only thing unchanged is this black bowler hat perched upon his head and his clothing, which is changed to, well, fit his body as well as it fit her. But now looking almost like an armored dock worker with this thick chainmail and this simple red vest drawn over it. And as she comes down, I guess I might want to take off the bracelets. Little ill-fitting.
Well, if you've got time to worry about your fashion sense, I think you must be feeling pretty good about it.
I just don't want it to look suspicious is all.
When you walk around with a group like this, I don't think suspicious crosses anyone's minds.
All right, well. Take me. Where are you going to take me then?
Darren, what's your name?
Hilarnia, but Howie, please. Howie Fontaine.
Oh, I was asking the guard who was escorting her, actually.
Oh,
And she answered any.
yeah. The guard nods and he's just, Lieutenant Smithers.
Good to meet you, Lieutenant.
We'll see her safely back to Castle Citadel Bolshevik. No one will recognize her given that hat.
Very good.
And again, damn fine work. Half the city looking for her all night, and you found her in the span of an hour.
It's what we do.
Things
Mark
that
for
fell off
death.
the roof. Serious and fell off the
And
roof.
Howie, best of luck to you.
Yes, kind of knows.
Listen.
Imagine using a hat of disguise, a ton of magic and stuff, and some level 3, nobody's like, yeah, I marked you for death like 5 days ago. I can still tell that's you.
Howie follows the pair of guards back to the castle road, round towards the main thoroughfare. Them taking the approach of not slipping through back alleyways, but it's two Korvosan guards in full plate and regalia escorting somebody through the streets. You know, the hide in plain sight approach. Nothing is wrong. Everything is normal. Nobody has any reason to ask questions. And please be very sure that hat stays on your head, ma'am. Well, with that,
See, I told you that the whole thing was too suspicious, and I watched her that whole time. Did you see the way she carried the dagger?
Yeah, she's pretty cute.
What I mean to say is, she
I
didn't.
appreciate you didn't flirt to her face at least.
Oh, professionalism, you know. But I mean, honestly, when this is all over and done, assuming she doesn't want to flee the city, I mean, maybe I could shoot my shot, man. I could like,
That didn't sound
hey,
right.
remember me? I'm the guy who saved you. Well, ran you down, really, but maybe she won't remember that
Hey,
so much.
If you do me a favor,
I did fall off the roof a couple times.
If you do approach her like that, I'll buy you a drink afterwards if I'm there to watch.
Maybe you'll give it to me beforehand because I'm not sure how the heck
I'll
I'm going
give
to
you
screw up
one.
the coverage to talk to her otherwise.
I'll give you one before and one after.
Fellas, I don't understand what your fascination with women are in this case. However, don't we have a thing that we need to like?
You have to look at her with the eye that's not covered by the eye patch.
Even then, I really don't care. It doesn't look like a chimney to me.
I'm pretty confident she or he
That's what you go for.
are definitely innocent. And I also found it strange that she was equally attractive, even with the bowler hat. It was weird. Like I don't know what the bowler hat's all about.
To be fair, that hat does nothing for her.
This is what we're doing now, then, huh?
I mean,
No, honestly, I'm
We're
about
discussing how hot our potential assassin is. Sounds about right for a bunch of
kills the
conscripts.
king, but he's hot.
Master pass.
she did not kill the king. I am 99.9% positive of that
She
now.
couldn't have.
I really hope she didn't kill the king because, man, that's just going to just ruin all of
So it's
this.
going to ruin the first date, then?
It would.
Yeah, that's not a topic for the first date?
So should we, stay close and keep an eye on things, or should we just go report back to the marshal now?
I'm going
Stay
back.
approximately as close as the distance from here to the marshal.
I'm going
What?
to go back to the coffee shop
should leave.
and buy some coffee.
Why, yeah.
I am never going.
Why
near
did you
that
say it like
coffee
that,
shop
Dave? That was
ever again.
unnecessarily confusing.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on, Wrath. Let's go get some coffee.
I knew that big gun
smells
compensated
so
for
good.
something.
Can we go back to the Citadel?
I feel like I could turn in early, actually. I could probably take an afternoon nap.
I missed
like-
breakfast.
10, 11 a.m. It's like 11 a.m.
I missed breakfast.
I also missed breakfast.
Hey, you know what we can do conveniently now that we have this free time?
Is it good breakfast?
Exactly.
Food shortage.
Not if we go to wherever I happen to have. I don't know who has it at this point, but I told my friends about my food. I'm sure someone's got it.
And it's not as bad now. And the people who do still have the food are like the bars and restaurants that act as the main supply chain. The things that are getting ravaged are the grocery stores. After the first couple of days, nobody is like desperate enough to kick the bar over for the ham they're serving for lunch. But I mean, honestly, if anything, business is frickin' banging for the taverns throughout Korvosa.
Ham does sound nice.
All right,
Sure, good for
that's,
me.
That's our days, then. Just
Supply. Yeah,
food,
let's do this.
coffee, coffees, and breakfast.
John heads back into that little coffee shop where now the sitting area fully empty. The man looks out and sees you, and his eyes kind of widen. Welcome back.
Ham?
I unequip the weapons.
Did you come with him?
Yeah, we're all going to breakfast.
Well, I'm not going back to that coffee
Yeah,
shop.
I figured-
I want somewhere with
John and
food.
Arden, though.
Yeah, I go over
Yeah,
to a
no.
booth. I just take off all the weapons, lay them in a seat, and sit down, and just wait to be helped.
I'd go back to that place
Yeah, they have coffee and ham.
because it'd be funny. Like, hey, I know you rang the bell and everything, but you failed.
Three over here. Terribly sorry about.
You're
all
protecting a friend, no?
Yeah, we don't blame you.
Then
I
I'm
don't-
not mad. She did cast a lot of magic on me, though. Very slippery.
that. Truth be told, I don't know her particularly well. Honestly,
Hey, you ain't got to be nervous.
she's been a good tenant.
Do you have breakfast?
I have some, yeah.
Then we have money. Isn't that great? You could bring us coffee and breakfast, and we could give you this money.
Of course. And he preps a couple of things in the back, brings out a large platter with half a loaf of bread. Between the three, it was not a great amount, but yeah, food shortage. It's not like everything. And a couple of like pork chop cuts that he's gotten a hold of. Puts the whole thing down with a fairly large, warm pitcher of coffee and a few mugs. And you. What did. I obviously have heard everything that's been going through the town. I don't believe a word of it. I know you lot are just doing your jobs, obviously.
Oh,
You gotta do
well,
what you gotta do.
Not exactly.
we got her to save custody, not to hell notch or nothing like that.
We're trying to help her. That's all.
We don't think she's guilty.
So glad I'm not there.
You're good folk. It sounds like. It's like she is. Howie's a damn saint. She got that commission and made all that money. She's been a tenant of mine for a couple of years, living up there, and it's not. It's just business. She pays me rent for the space, and I mean we're not close, we're not friends or anything, but she and he kind of gestures into the back to a fairly large stone chest set against the back wall. That's like 8 feet long and 4 feet deep. It's a massive thing. She's like, she bought me that. It's enchanted. The inside's always cool. Like a winter night outside. No reason, just she did the same for a bunch of people throughout the neighborhood. She got that coin from that commission, and
she gave back to the people who...
she had no reason to. But she's...
We do the same thing back where I came from. You get some extra coin, you help those around you.
Exactly.
What are you going to do with, I don't know, however much gold coin you got? Live in a bigger house?
Exactly. She could have taken that. She could have moved out of Midland. She could have moved into the nicer part of Midland. She could have gone to Northgate or Main Shore, or probably even gotten a decent payment for an estate down in South Shore.
But then miss out on this wonderful coffee.
And no friends.
If you got her out of here safe, I thank you. I'm sure a lot of other folk who live around here do too. It's not going to disperse them. He just kind of gestures towards the door. I'm going to get rid of them, not for some time, but...
It's a good step in the right direction.
Well,
Next,
thank you.
Yeah, next time you see our little group walking around with our badges on, just know we're trying to do the right thing.
Except maybe Floblin. I don't really know what he's doing.
Don't leave him alone with the bread. He'll char it and then eat the charcoal.
Or the charcoal.
Or the charcoal, actually.
Don't leave him alone with anything, really.
Don't worry about your coin. This one's on me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he turns and heads back into the kitchen. And John and Floblin, either...
They gotta go pay for their
you
food.
two doing?
Dummies.
I suggest we go to a less risky restaurant or something to get our breakfast. What do you think?
Yeah, something on the way. That way, I think there was a decent place.
I mean, worst case scenario, I can show you how to eat out of garbage and how to find things that doesn't have mold and bugs in it.
You know what? You go and do whatever you want. I'm gonna go to that nice little place up there. That's what I'm gonna do.
Don't get me wrong, I still want a proper breakfast. I'm just saying, if they don't serve us or they run out, I can always...
You know, they've got this great bacon jam. I would really like some. I could go with some bacon jam right now. I don't even know how they make it. It's probably magic involved. It's really good.
You know,
I mean...
9 times out of 10 when you hear something's made bacon flavored, it's not good.
I have yet to actually find something.
I don't think...
that's not good when it's bacon.
Yeah, you're a
flavored.
moron.
Bacon soda.
Whatever. It's awesome.
Anyway,
Why would
that's
you
off
even
to...
try that?
Yeah, you're an idiot.
It's derp, dude.
I mean, if you go out of your way to look for dumb stuff, that doesn't taste good.
Anyway, but breakfast.
So
yeah.
the two of you head off into town to head out away from where this is, maybe probably out of Midland entirely, I imagine, to go get a morning meal somewhere a little bit less noticeable from where you've been previously, somewhere a little more under the radar. And again, these places would still have food. This wouldn't be terrible, but it would be a bit more expensive than usual, and you definitely get a bit less than usual with the food shortages going throughout the city.
Do they still have the bacon jam?
That's all he cares about.
We need 20. Only to die of bacon jam.
Get your bacon soda jam. You got it across the table line and it infected my die.
I will assist in some way.
2, definitely not. The bacon jam is something...
My heart.
Wait,
That-
did they throw some away?
So
Yes.
Roll me the dumpster d20.
Buy the jar with a little bit of script.
That's a 9 on the die.
No.
There would be some jars that once held bacon jam in the dumpster.
Good enough for me.
I'll just be sad. On the outside.
I break open like a part of it. Just look the inside. Just can't afford the glass. You might cut your tongue.
You're
And I
like
imagine...
you're like a really demented Fraggle.
You're not here. Giving the group escorting Howie some time to get back to the Citadel. Eventually, later in the afternoon, I'm sure you would all make your way back there. And as you do, whether it is by your own volition or being summoned, it's almost certain that you would at some point end up back in Field Marshal Croft's office, having completed your task. And coming upstairs, she's still, as ever, diligently sat behind her desk, with a bunch of paperwork now in front of her, and one small little card at the front of the desk, with a symbol of a rapier clearly visible across the bottom of it, and some very fine embossed script above that. It's not easily legible upside down from the doorway. She's a group you, smile a bit, motion you in, and then point to close the signal to close the door again.
Are you getting any sleep at all? Like, not even 30-minute naps?
Don't worry about me.
Well, if you're not working, then we're not getting orders. You got to keep yourself at least running a little bit.
Found a place down in the Midlands that makes halfway decent coffee, so they say.
Well, I have halfway decent magic, thanks to the Sentinel of Ocean mage staff. And that'll do fine enough for now. But
It can't be healthy.
I'm sure it isn't. But hopefully soon enough everything will come back to order and I will finally get a fine night's rest. But until then, you never disappoint, do you?
Well, you said to do the thing, so we did the thing.
You absolutely did the thing. Oh, forgive me.
I mean,
Such a cavalier attitude is such... It's welcome. That's what it is. It's welcome. It's at absolute odds with everything that I've seen.
if he wants the
For a
story, these three fell off the roof. That one twice.
What roof?
We had to do a little escapade on the rooftops. I shot a wall down. Don't mind it. It's fine.
What did you have, a Shingles foot chase?
Yes.
Exactly.
That was
yeah.
pretty
On the
much it, yeah.
rooftop.
I ran into a wall, I think, twice.
To be fair, those destroyed
Yeah, she
walls,
blinded.
you won't even notice them. There's so many of them up there already.
What did you do? How did she get away? What was she...
Signaled.
Tipped off.
Surprisingly adroitly, actually, and quite attractively. She was very good at getting away.
Is it-
Really?
She's cute.
Did I say that?
He has a little bit of a crush on the criminal.
Look, she's definitely
Suspect.
not guilty.
That's the one I'm looking for. She had help from her neighbors.
Don't you mean to say a person of interest?
She showed up. She showed up a couple of hours ago, delivered here by one of my lieutenants. You've done a fine work exactly as asked, and again, I thank you for this. I would say I don't know how to thank you, but I'm relatively certain that I do. And
Clang.
she reaches down and
Is that more food?
clang
1,500 gold pieces.
on the table here. This now, don't get terribly excited yet. Given the state of things, I'm going to increase your clearance. The quartermaster should be back hopefully tomorrow. I should have some spare staff to be able to run things literally at all. Stage 7 clearance will allow you a bit more access to the armory if there's any kind of useful goods or tools or weapons that could assist you in whatever Abadar throws us next. But I shouldn't do this. But I'm going to ask, as I haven't met with her yet. She is currently being held here safely. I haven't had the time or the resources to get down and deal with her myself. What mattered most was that she was safe. What do you think we should do with her? I'm not saying this is your call to make, but I am saying that at this point, given your incredible propensity for success, I think it would be foolish to fully disregard your input.
If
You caught her. You would, I assume, at some level maybe spoke with her even.
She
you can-
doesn't. Go
Sorry.
ahead. Sorry.
if you can let me get a message to my friends, my druid clan, we can get her out of town safely and keep her someplace safe until all of this blows over.
I can't
I don't.
have her taken outside the city walls.
Yeah.
That's a risk I can't.
Not so far outside, but just far enough that no one will be able to find her for sure.
So I think for the time being, that hat should not be removed from her body, and we should pretend for at least until the time that evidence of wrongdoing can be found, that nobody has seen her yet.
Nobody that I do not personally trust, and that is in light of everything that has happened in the past few days, has any idea that she has been captured or that she is here, for that matter. There's a small handful of privileged individuals, so I believe the most straightforward and most obvious way to proceed is to hold and interrogate her here on site at the Citadel.
Yep.
We have some of our magi on staff when they are available, and we can spare time soon. She will be magically interrogated for everything she knows, hopefully giving us the ability to either confirm that she was the King's Killer, at which point, of course, she'll be handed over to the throne, or to exonerate her. Given the gravity of the situation, I'm going directly to the Magi on this one.
Are the Magi still on board with the current political structure?
Well, if they aren't, frankly, we're screwed regardless. So, I believe I can trust them. Were I able to... Had I any resources to be able to be sure without them, perhaps that's a route that I would take. But as it stands, that's what I see as our best course of action.
I just had a fun idea. We could test the Magi's loyalty. If one of us puts on that fancy Hadamadoogie of disguise, turn her into someone completely different, we could pretend to be her and see what they do.
What, like take
trick
her
'em.
place and...
Yeah, trick them.
That sounds mildly insulting. I would feel mildly insulted if I were one of them.
I do worry that this does run a great risk of alienating them if they are still loyal to the Korvosan Guard and to my order. But
That's fair.
It's not
It's just a
perhaps
pretty neat
wholly
hat.
unwise, not to be dismissed offhand.
Well, she did say some things when we were walking back. We were talking to her to calm her down, and we turned her her discussion towards events at the castle and her way of there. Perhaps the interrogations could start there, and since you already know what her account of them is, you certainly seemed truthful enough when she was telling them to me. Perhaps you can compare them and use that as a baseline without alienating them. I'll tell you what she told me.
All you got to do is look at her body language. I mean, honestly, she had that.
You know, I gave it some good attention, and I couldn't really read her, to be honest with you.
Some people are just very good at lying.
Dude, not talking about lying. Look, if you were an assassin and you were in fear for your life and you had a dagger on you, you would have your hand near that dagger all the time. And her dagger was ceremonial. It wasn't like a business weapon. It was something she just had.
The dagger that she had on her when we processed her was enchanted. It was inset with a rune to increase its lethality.
Well, that's nice.
That admittedly doesn't speak well for her innocence, but
She never went to pull it.
Well, given her state and given the situation, it's certainly not enough to incriminate her by itself. By all accounts, the king wasn't stabbed to death, and it's very possible it's something that she picked up.
She was
protect
paid
herself.
quite nicely.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be impossible for her to have bought some hefty magical doodads.
And
So,
she
my
gave a lot
question-
back to her community, too.
Let's start with this. Darren, tell me what she told you about her time in the castle, and I will write down some degree of a record that we can compare with what the Magi are able to learn, and that'll give us at least a baseline.
Of course.
And so as you recount what admittedly little she told you, Commander Croft, or Marshal Croft, writes it all down, and he keeps this, making some notations here, and then nods at the end of this. All right, fair enough. This at least gives us something to go on. Because again, there's very precious little that we know about this woman. She's no matter of a public figure. She has no stature. She's made little name for herself outside of this one commission that she earned at the art festival some 5-6 months ago at this point. So, I suppose it's decided then. I will have her held here. You will forgive me for not handing you this payment quite yet. And let me explain.
I don't really care.
I don't want any degree of a paper trail. I don't want any connections coming back to this yet. I want to keep this as under the table as we can. I want as few exposed threads that could lead anyone outside of the circle that I still can fully trust to find that she has been captured, and much less that she has been held here. This will be yours, I promise it, and I can safely give it to you.
Fair enough by me.
40 platinum pieces.
Hey, Darren, what's our measurements?
My only concern is how long is this interrogation going to take? How long will it take to get the Magi's there and get them to get their information out of her?
Hopefully that we can begin our investigations, if not this evening, early tomorrow morning, and then the time that it will take, unfortunately, is the time that it will take. I'm unfamiliar with magic myself beyond its what I need to run operations here, and typically I'm not directly overseeing that. I have a head mage that reports to me who organizes things himself. It's not really my purview.
So anywhere from a day to...
A week, at worst.
What about the mobs outside roaming the city? What if they escalate?
I am working on the hope that they will tire themselves out, which is not great, I know. But given finding nothing, if they don't get bored themselves, certainly the Order of the Nail will tire of their interference into their investigations. They're not rioting. They're not burning down half the city this time. It is a problem. The docks have come to damn near a standstill again, but we'll have to hope this resolves itself and quickly. If not, I will consider options for going forward.
Well, then I know it's no help for your interrogation, but there are some accounts from her personal life too, if you want to throw that in there, of what she did around the people around her, the communities. I'm just going to run. I assume that we had a short conversation with the coffee shop, keep out all the things she did.
And, he would absolutely have talked to you as much as you wanted to while you were there. As she writes down some more notations. Again, any and all of this information is helpful. I apologize that I can't pay you now, but I suppose the good news is that I can't imagine anything else at the current moment that I could think to ask of you.
Oh God, please don't say that out loud. Please don't say that out loud. Please don't say that out loud. I'm not going to.
I am going to tempt Pharasma herself and ask at this point what else could possibly go wrong.
A dragon could attack the castle.
I could ask you out.
Attack the castle.
I could ask you out on a date.
The castle is fully prepared, staffed, manned, and armed to defend itself from just such a threat. Korvosa is prepared for this, and she doesn't even seem to notice. She either is not engaging or missed it entirely as she continues. That is something that the city could handle. Would it be unfortunate? Yes. But would it be dealt with in a timely manner? Also, yes.
Cheliax could invade while the dragon attacks the castle.
Oh, we fixed that one. Chillax isn't invading, remember? That was yesterday.
Happen, I suppose. We still allow the Order of the Nail to operate freely in the streets, and we have a fine amount of blackmail for the ambassador, who seems that he has retreated from the city with his tail tucked neatly between his legs.
That's good.
I'll tell you what, Arden. How about we just completely ignore that you spoke, and we'll go do a tarot reading to see what is going to happen.
Said something?
Exactly.
What did he say?
I'm going to do a tarot reading later.
Yeah.
Then he wants to go out to the training fields. I know you're tired, but I have a shield that I haven't been able to use.
You know what?
Can I...
I'll entertain you.
Yeah, have Floblin help you. Floblin, you would be perfect. You should go train with Floblin. Reth, I want to talk to you about that gun.
Come along for the tarot reading then.
If I must.
Well, I thank you again for your incredibly punctual success.
It helps when there's not a whole lot of red tape. You tell us do a thing, we can just go do the thing immediately.
And as effective as the group of you are, I don't like having to rely on this. I don't like operating damn near outside the bounds of the law of Korvosa, outside our normal regimen and our structure.
Seems like maybe the guard needs to have some sort of special unit just for sorts of situations like this. Maybe officially. I know it'll make Garden feel better.
Yeah, you could, give us, an official rank
once
and an
things
official
calm
unit.
down,
I don't
of course.
think I like the idea of being an official guard.
That's because you're a never mind.
Well, the Queen's getting ready to disband the Sable Company. I have to think about my career.
That's fair. You just think about your career.
What's a career?
Actually,
I know that. Well, just kind of gestures to Darren. I know your background, Darren, somewhat, and I am sorry you had to hear it from me and the way that you did, but maybe it doesn't come to pass. From what I hear, the Sable Company General and both commandants have already been discharged. They no longer hold any authority.
She can disband the Corps, but we'll still be Marines. And Korvosa will still have us.
That's the Sable Company attitude that I've heard of. Anyway, dismissed.
Dismissed. Cool.
Is there a reason why
Very
we do it
directly
with
to
this
Aaron.
hand or
She does
not
that.
this hand?
Well, originally a salute was more of a, you know what? Not really.
Okay.
Honestly, this was an entire class I had to deal with in officer school about some history of these many traditions, and it was the one that I just could not stay awake through.
Yeah.
Gods, who could possibly care?
No
It's
one.
like,
Well, anyway, we'll just head out that door.
yeah, Dan cares a lot, actually.
He knows all of it.
Perhaps one of the
little
better
soldier
things-
You
boy.
should hear him at night before he goes to bed, going over into his out loud.
Number one.
If you ask me, perhaps one of the better things that has come from
practiced.
the near collapse of our civilization is the loss of a lot of this pointless rigidity and bureaucracy.
This is why I don't like City. She just used a bunch of big words I don't understand.
They don't have to talk to you like a group of soldiers. You come in here and I talk to you like, well, I suppose the mercenaries you are.
See? Told you. We're mercenaries.
I
You
don't
put
like
money
City.
on the table and stuff gets done.
I guess that's about right. Swords for hire.
I mean, it's money or food for me, either way.
Guns for hire.
Go rest. You've saved Korvosa 3 times over by this point, and I don't know what else there is to. Honestly, that's only a mild exaggeration.
I'm sure something will happen tomorrow.
This is right. Is this thing? Maybe more of those monsters just burst
Do
up
you
from the
just will
sewer.
these things into existence? Do you just have such an incredible, overwhelming pessimism?
I'm just going by the pattern,
Every
Commander. That's really what it is.
Ever since I've come to the city, every other day it's been something crazy.
And ever since you've come to the city, the king's been dead and anarchy's been in control of the streets. So yeah, I suppose that's how it's gone, more or less.
Every other day is not accurate. It's been every day for you.
No, there was one day of rest. That was actually a pretty nice day. We went
Go
out
take another one,
shopping.
then.
Let's go.
Thank you.
She takes the card off of her desk and puts it back into a drawer.
So, about that gun.
About them hero cards.
Why
And-
do you have
Yeah,
to
what,
bring up the
just got that
cards?
shield?
Because it's going to be entertaining to see what our future holds.
I want to find my brother. I mean, my nephew.
I think we should, but I think first I need to learn about that gun.
So
Well-
Floblin and John
It's a gun.
head down, separate from this, out into the training field. Surely stopping by your barracks first to grab some of your equipment.
You have a
shield
nice
here.
The shield
Rest
you
there.
have never used.
Yeah. You know what would be nice if I had a short spear to go with this, but I
I'm
didn't think
not
to grab one.
surprised you don't have any amongst your.
I have a long spear. I mean, I guess I could brace it to the top of the shields, but that's awkward.
I mean, you can always break it in half too.
That's awful. You're awful.
I mean,
All right, Zen.
all right, take your stance. Get a little produce flame ready. Tell me when you're ready.
If you hit me with fire and I catch on fire, I am going to hit you with a sword.
You just block it with your shield. That's all you have to do.
Sword until you catch on fire from the sword. Oh, you're not on fire? Hold on.
This is your idea. You don't have like a sling or a bow or a sword.
You know, fun. I extinguish the fireball and I pull out my little sickle. This is all I got.
I guess this is good training for you, anyways, because you need to know how to use that.
And Floblin doesn't exactly play fair, so he's immediately just gonna go for a trip.
Tom puts his shield up.
Shield practice.
Make me an athletics check.
I am trained. I'm sorry.
I'm knocked home.
Sorry for anyone with headphones. That was a 22.
Yep.
22. You put your shield up, and Floblin immediately tackles your ankles.
All right, then. All right, this is how you want to play, huh? Stand up.
You gotta be prepared for everything, my friend.
I'm gonna grab Goblin. Just pick up Goblin for a 25.
That is definitely a critical success, almost times 2.
What's your fort DC?
Oh no, it's just no, it's not a critical success. It's just a regular success. I'm
What
sorry.
is your fort? 3 3? Like,
6.
It's 6.
oh, almost a critical.
Almost a critical
almost good.
success.
So you grab a hold of him.
I need a better grip on this. I want to actually have him in my hands, like picked up fully in my hands.
So as you two are
Just wrestling. I'm just gonna throw him across the
doing
yard
this
and
in the yard. You
We're-
three.
We're horsing around
This
for fun.
devolves immediately.
actually, you know what? I find the water trough and I dunk his head in it.
Don't wrestle a goblin. You both end up covered in mud, and the goblin enjoys it.
He's underwater. He doesn't. I know his fear.
Wow.
Just a big poof of smoke.
That's horrible.
Look, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Like I said,
Well, you do you.
love-hate relationship.
Hate love.
The three of you head back to the barracks, I assume, to the wherever. Do you keep your tarot cards on you? Where are you guys going?
My hero cards, and I
hero
keep them
cards
on
on
me.
Where are you going then?
Going back to our bunks
Yep.
because one individual wants to learn about gun.
So three of you.
It's interesting. It intrigued Darren ever since it blew a hole in an OTU the size of like
then a wall.
basketball, and then the wall behind it, and then 3 other walls earlier today. It seems interesting. I should learn about these things. The canned crossbow just doesn't seem to measure up as well anymore.
Well, you start doing your hero reading for me. And I'm going to take a minute to explain how guns work to him while you take care of that business.
Oh, okay.
So, basically, you make a small explosion in your hands, and what you're pointing at this at dies.
That's way better than I thought it was going to be.
And pulling open the breach, you see all the black scorch marks
I don't
in
think
there.
there's a breach.
How else do you load an
black
arquebus
powder-
With one
Puzzle
action.
light.
with one action?
Huh.
You know, he has a point.
Carefully.
You just
I
got
don't
to.
think-
Like, it has to have a breach. It has to
Look,
be
you
a
can
breach
shoot
load.
a crossbow 11 times in a round in first edition. I think the
You can
logic
shoot
of the
a-
mechanics has gone out the window.
You can shoot a two-handed black powder muzzle-loaded musket in first edition 16 times in one round.
Yeah, exactly. So it's still a muzzle loader. You just got it down
I'm
to
justifying it as like a break
you
action
do it-
breach.
All right, break action breach. Fair enough.
You know, hey,
You invented this.
Must have.
you know, Darren. According to the cards, you know, you're gonna get into a new relationship soon. So maybe you will get that girl.
Ooh.
Darren,
Oh.
have a girl?
All right. No, I'd never worked out the cards to ask her out.
I'm not here.
You're not there.
I'll say.
Really? Well, maybe she'll be. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That could be good. Oh,
I mean, I'm
how
just.
the heck? What am I going to say? It has to work out, right? No. They're just stupid pieces of card. They don't actually do anything. But it could.
Oh yeah, we have your deck, so you can actually do the reading.
Anyway, let me go think about explosions in hands again. All right.
I was thinking about.
So how do you do this and not blow your hands off?
Well, the gun holds the explosion,
Oh, so it's
and I'll pull out a roughly like .68 caliber
roughly.
lead ball.
Like plus .681. It's all kind of hand machine.
Fair enough.
And you see this chunk of metal?
Yeah.
It fits. Just drop it in there, and it rolls out of the other side of the barrel. It fits in there, and the explosion makes it do that, but really fast.
Huh.
Explain it to him like he's a third
Can
grader.
I like?
He is 16.
Can I shoot it and see? Because this back part looks like a crossbow stock, and this trigger looks kind of like a crossbow trigger.
I tell you what, as soon as we're done with this, shouldn't take more than a minute.
Oh boy.
I'll take you outside,
Oh boy.
and I'll let you load it and shoot it once.
All right, done. We'll do it. I'll sit through as many of these hero readings as I have to be able to shoot that thing.
So,
I want to shoot the gun.
Oh boy.
here, pulling out these cards. You want to give us an abbreviated reading here, Arden?
So remember, past, present, future.
I know how to read the cards, Wrath.
Just making sure.
Well, it looks like we're gonna have to use wisdom and then maybe a little bit of trickery, but I think we're gonna we found some of the hidden truth today because we found out that she didn't really murder the king, which means something is amok. And then we've
Well, I mean, it was pretty mucky over in the Shingles, so.
and then we've got And then we've got the unicorn and the empty throne.
Something took a bite out of that unicorn's pear. What does that mean?
I don't.
Some was hungry.
Okay. I was pretty hungry today.
And
This is the reading.
I think everything's gonna go nuts.
The carnival. Is there a carnival in town?
There's a
No,
point to
you-
this. Hold on.
And see, this is what I mean about you finding somebody new. We've got the Wanderer, the Keep, and the Rabbit Prince. So it's clear to me that after wandering around for a little, you're going to find your true home, and you're going to meet your princess.
This is how high we're reading for.
My princess is a rabbit?
No, you're the rabbit prince.
I am?
Well, yeah.
But I'm not a rabbit.
But, metaphorically.
Well,
Oh. What does the keep with legs and arms have to do with it?
Well, it means you've got to find your home and settle down.
so
I don't understand how this works.
I gotta ask, looking at all these, but this seems like a very skewed result here.
How so?
Well, I took all your bad cards out of your deck.
Is that how fate works?
That's how fate works. See, if you take all the bad cards out, you can get nothing but a good
Beautiful.
future.
Oh man, this is easy.
Instead of such a straight face.
Just take all the bad cards out of the deck and you live a happy life. You can only tell good
That's
futures.
how it works, actually. You take out all the bad cards.
I got really excited because everything was going so well.
But that works, right? No, this is brilliant.
I mean,
See,
this is
that's-
what the future is now. I mean, you're
Exactly.
going to find your true love, and we're going to fill the empty throne with a unicorn, and that's just how it's going to be.
Well, thank you, Ref. You saved my life.
All the bad fates out of your choices, you only get the good ones.
Wow, you know what? Actually, that could be a metaphor for life because, really it's all about choice, and you can just choose not to believe the bad things.
Oh, I like this a lot. Yeah.
So let's go shoot this guy.
I'm down. Let's do it.
The group
What
of
is your
you
strength stat?
heading outside in great spirits as you come out of the barracks. See John Thorland's head down the feed trough.
Yeah, it's about as far as well as that went as I
Shield is
expected
just
it.
on the ground nearby.
I've been waiting 3 weeks to do that. I have physically had those cards under the table for 3 weeks.
I want to hate you, but
You can't.
that was so
That was good.
because I wasn't expecting it. I didn't even notice how thick the deck wasn't.
The group of you come over. John, you probably noticed them as they got a little bit close.
Well, cool. I just let go of the goblin.
I immediately jump on his back and start gnawing like on his shoulder.
Zan,
You go.
Zan, can you please get the goblin? This is why I don't like him.
I don't.
He says he wants to help me use the shield, and the first thing he does is trip me.
I told you to be prepared for
Well,
battle.
maybe he just did that because you were dunking his head in the water.
No, he did that before I dunked his head in the water.
Are you sure? I don't think Floblin would do something like that.
Uh-huh.
Floblin,
Anyways,
would
what are you
do
guys up
something?
to?
Look, you've got him all bitey. Oh,
We're up to fun.
Are you
this
intending
is
to shoot
great.
your gun?
Absolutely.
I want to
John,
shoot
you
your
wanted
gun.
to practice that shield, right?
I want to shoot, yeah. Just
Floblin immediately bolts out of there.
go for it.
Congratulations, you rolled it like a -7.
Yeah, it's a
It's a martial weapon.
Oh,
exotic.
Guns are martial
They're
weapons.
just martial.
Okay.
It's just like a crossbow.
Make me an attack roll. And what's your AC with your shield?
22.
raise? 22. Make me an attack roll. A ranged attack roll.
I roll a 2.
You shoot this. You hear a bang and a poof of smoke, and you don't even feel this whiz by. As this shot just goes up, gone into the space. Make me a fortitude save there.
Did we load it right? Nat 20.
Not 20. You feel this. I imagine you have it ready. The good news, it's kind of just like a crossbow. You're using the stock to aim. Crossbow, the stock's just kind of there to aim. The crossbow doesn't punch you back when you fire it.
It's got the kickback trait too, so Arquebus kicks.
Yeah.
So-
If you didn't have 16 strength, you would take a penalty just wielding that.
So you fire this, and it scoots you back a bit, and you like stumble, but with a natural 20, you keep your footing. Like any onlookers would look like you were totally prepared for that.
Yeah, I remember.
You definitely did not expect this to launch you backwards when you shot it.
Oh,
Gets
I'm
gun.
gonna get me one of these.
Gets gun, shoots friend.
I would highly recommend you get one a little smaller than that one.
A little
Hey,
smaller.
Riz,
I get something a little smaller.
Can I shoot it?
It's kind of.
I don't see why not.
You know,
It's a lot
guys,
heavier than a
I
crossbow.
think I've been using these backwards the whole time.
I
Picture
shoot the
small or
gun.
big.
Not at anyone. Gun safety.
Shoot it at
Gun
your
safety.
OG.
Oh.
Shoots the gun, immediately shoots it at John.
Aims it at flaw one.
Don't do this at home.
No, just points
You
it at
guys-
shield, shoot shield.
You guys
Have a fun-filled day.
spend an afternoon having, I guess, the Korvosan Guard equivalent of a beach episode.
We're just using.
Playing with Rhett's gun, drowning a goblin, and just having a good time in the field.
What a way
Skewed future reading.
What we're doing is we're team building. We haven't actually had a moment to hang out as a team. It's either we've been resting or we've been out doing stuff on town.
We've literally been like saving each other's lives. on a
Yeah, but we
daily
haven't
basis.
actually like connected as a team. Like we haven't like you. I know nothing about you other than you are Dan Copperbell, whatever the hell your last name is, and that you serve for the table company.
This morning was literally nothing but trust fall exercises. You're terrible, by the way.
You didn't trust fall towards me. You literally went to go jump off the building, and you succeeded in jumping off the building.
Yeah, you didn't
I
catch
saw
me. You
you-
were 2 blocks in front of us. That's why you didn't catch me.
He was the first one to
does that-
fall.
How does that make him terrible? He didn't fall.
I mean,
Trust fall.
he did help me up at least
Yeah.
once.
You trusted the fall a little too much.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Don't do that.
No, that's not how team building is supposed to work.
You walked in front of me and then fell forward. How can I catch you if I'm behind you and you fell forward?
You just have to be faster.
I'm not faster than you.
That's the problem.
Look at all the gear I wear.
Maybe you shouldn't.
I feel very unsafe with all this gear, to be
You know,
honest.
You know what? I can respect that.
Finding my cousin could be very team building.
It could be
thought
very.
it was
I
your
mean, it
nephew.
is on our to-do list.
First, I need a gun, though.
I keep changing it to see if you'll
I'm gonna
remember.
find the heck out of
remember.
him with that gun. It seems to be able to do anything.
I mean,
Well, no.
The group of you spend the rest of this evening finally actually having like an evening of levity and relaxation before you get to sleep at a reasonable time. You rest in well and awaken the next morning here under the purview of the guard, not having to worry as much about the food shortages that the rest of the city might have. You're going to be perfectly fine. You have the guard supply. You are in a citadel that could withstand a siege should it need to.
I am packing his gun with a little bit of flour so that the next time he shoots that thing off, it is going off in his face in return for the frickin' cards thing.
Don't mess with a
Fun
man's
fact,
weapon.
if you were to put flour in front of the black powder inside of an arquebus, you would likely get a small flamethrower when you shot it, because flour, when dispersed in air, I forget
Very spicy.
Very
I
flammable.
forget the effect, but
It
like
almost
what it's
like-
called. But when dust particles that are flammable spread
Yeah,
out,
I know
Yeah.
this word from Extinction Curse.
Yes,
but
'cause I
it's
did
a
it.
Hazard in the mill.
I did it.
You can
Yep.
blow up the mill, but I can't remember. There's a word for
It's
it.
basically like a fuel air explosive, but
Yes.
with a particulate instead
if
of.
you
fire.
mixed it correctly, it would literally create a small explosion, out of the end of the gun.
Yeah.
But that morning, after you wake up, a morning unpressured by things that need doing, clean up, ready yourselves, head to the mess for breakfast,
Weapons, do prayer.
get to pray and do everything largely uninterrupted.
burn more garbage.
Burn more garbage.
Whatever his prayers are.
Also, the gun has to be cleaned every day before I fire it.
The guard who delivered the silver sword, the same one who had welcomed you into Citadel
Well,
Bolshevik in the first
I'll give him
place.
that back.
Oh, okay.
I'll give the
back
marshal
towards
back her sword, yeah.
Oh, you bring it back to you can bring it back to the quartermasters. If you would,
Hey, quartermaster.
He doesn't want to see the
the
quartermaster. I think you're...
quartermaster would be there. He would be back if you go to try to deliver this, hoping maybe you could just leave it on the counter and then he would find it later. And he looks.
Ah, you're back, I see.
Don't you worry.
Fantastic! And our newest clearance 6 recruit.
Oh, that's a higher number than it was last time.
That's a lower number than it was last time. How in the hell you are still here and I have to put up with you? I will never understand.
It was 3 last
You were
time.
7. Your conscription pay rate 3. That allows you basic accoutrements from the armory. Your clearance was 7.
I don't understand why they're opposite.
Yeah, I don't really get it either.
They go
at this
in
point.
opposite directions. Like you start out clearance lower and
Well,
whatever higher.
Because clearance 1 is the field marshal and the queen herself and those she designates. Why? How would you have an end of a scale if it's just counting up to a random unknown number? Do you think about these things for 2 seconds, or do you just vocalize every single thought that comes?
He vocalizes every single thought that comes to his mind. So does this one.
Oh, you're here too. Fantastic. And the trash monster. Wonderful.
Hello.
We're doing at the hips.
Clearance. Okay, all right. Well, clearance
I don't
clearance
need a
6 is good.
constraight.
Oh, that's probably.
He saw her just pop up behind them.
So first up, here's a silver short sword back. Thank you. That was not helpful, but it was okay. It was good to have. Do you have any guns?
Are you asking him for guns?
He watched me blow a hole through a oat chew,
You think the quartermaster cares?
and now he wants one.
I don't think the quartermaster has
It's
guns.
very important.
I'm gonna let you in on something here.
I'm backing
I
up.
don't.
A back and go.
All right. Yeah.
It's got this like grate in front of
That's
it.
the only reason why I'm even getting within striking distance of him.
I don't care what your clearance is. You morons came down here asking for a goddamn hand cannon because you saw one and thought it was funny. I would have a moral obligation, not just to the guard, not just to the city of Korvosa, but to the gods themselves to tell you to screw off.
Speaking of
Well, it's
guns,
a good thing I interrupted him before he finished his sentence then, because I think that gun could be very helpful in securing the enemies of Korvosa.
securing a hole through their rib.
Why
cage,
would you want to
perhaps.
secure them? Wouldn't we want to take them down?
Oh, it'll do that too. The guns are curiously versatile.
Do you need anything?
I
with your
actually
new
do.
Clearance?
I actually do. Now, you gave us the magical rune the other day. It makes my gun a little better. Is there anything else like that?
Are you gonna make me spend an entire another day working on this damn gun?
No. I'm asking you.
Yes, with your clearance 6, we do have more effective runes from the Magi. If you want a short sword, short spear, light crossbow, heavy crossbow, I can get you set up with that right now. If you want them affixed to something, you gotta wait till the mages are ready, do it yourselves. But, yeah, that rune's like, that's legally magic. You put that on a weapon, it balances a little bit better. A good blacksmith can do that, that's nothing. These runes, which Abadar, forgive me, I'm oath bound to provide to you, are going to make your blades that much more potent, that much sharper. It's almost the wizards tell it. It's a, they got some fancy magic word for it. Distorts gravity. Physically pulling the blade of the weapon into whatever you're striking.
That's nice.
That's what they call it, striking it.
Oh, that sounds pretty neat.
But it does work on crossbows. It does work theoretically on a gun. You know, if you wanted to bring down a shipping vessel.
How about armor?
You know, we might need
Well,
to.
now, hear me out on this. Rather than waiting a whole day,
The thing that you are explicitly not getting is branded armor. You know you're not in the guard, right? You know that.
Like a rune. You said there are runes for swords. There's runes for armor, though, right?
I think he just said that we're not getting one.
Well, but why not?
Probably because we're not high enough clearance.
But we
And
could
because
be.
screw you.
Oh.
I mean, clearly the gentleman is done doing business with us. Why don't we leave him?
Well, he's not really doing
rather than
business.
a thing that takes the mages a whole day to do, is there something simpler? Like quicker, easier?
You can do it yourself.
I
You
could.
got magic. You got little wizard hands.
I could actually.
Shoot sparks and stuff.
This one does.
So does this one.
Oh my goodness. All right. What do you want? Just tell me. One load. I'll get it done and over with. One go. Hopefully, don't have to hear nothing about you. I don't care what happens with this rune. If you can't get it on, not my problem. Understood?
That's fair.
Sure, good for me.
Yes.
for me.
Same for me.
Want another sword? A spear? Anything?
I want one of those ruins.
Farmer boy?
One of those ruins.
You just want a rune. Y'all
Yeah.
just be good.
I like this ice more than the spear. It's comfy.
You? Winger?
Take the rune, thank you.
Well,
You have really pretty eyes.
I apologize for that outburst.
don't even know if I have. Do I even have 3 raised stats? This is ridiculous. And he turns around, heads in the back, and starts looking through some stuff.
I thought maybe the compliment would like warm him up to
No,
us.
there's no warming him up.
The only thing that's gonna warm
Quartermasters
up
actually
is his rage.
have no. They actually
Well, you
have no
see,
love left
I
in their
don't.
heart.
I
It's
don't
part of
think
the
he's
job,
a
I
bad
think.
man. He just hates us.
But why? I don't understand.
Have you talked to yourself?
I mean,
We're not a very likable group of people.
Imagine. I think I actually have a metaphor for it. So you have these rocks, right? You've worked very hard on these rocks. You've categorized them. You've cataloged them.
Oh, I can already tell
Imagine
this is rock solid.
someone went and told you you had to give your
3.
rocks out to people.
I give my rocks out all the time.
that I'm giving out to you people.
See?
Oh, that's so
I want it
nice.
on the record. This is against my better judgment. But
Here's your rock.
I need you. I reach down, pull it.
One for you. Or here, give me.
What, you want the other one?
Proper
No, I need that
forms
rubber.
It's the
for
same
these.
rock.
I
Just give me
literally
the rubber.
can't tell you the last time one of these just
For
left
him,
the
'cause
armory
he's got to
raw.
put it on your weapon.
This is
I mean, you wouldn't cook them.
I think I'd rather have a blacksmith put it on the weapon.
That's fair.
Plus, I want to get a gun to put it on.
all right. Which one of you wants to volunteer to lose your heads when you screw this up? Sign this.
I sign it.
Oh, that was very convenient of you. Thank you.
Don't screw it up.
I won't screw it up.
Also,
Oh,
get out of my armory.
I was
Done.
going to return
Bye.
some weapons too. Here's the long spear. I also need
Did we ever get his
one of the
name?
ruins that was on that as extra as well. The scythe I never got an extra. I never got a chance to ask you for one. I'll sign more paperwork.
You'll be our official paper pusher of the group.
Again, this is only technically magic. I barely legally even got to record this. Just take it.
All right, thank you. You're a good man.
I know.
Handing them out like candies.
So the group of you from the quartermaster get a +1 a lesser potency rune and 3 lesser striking runes that you will need to apply yourselves by the power of crafting compel you. Fortunately, applying a rune off of a rune stone is a thing that can be quite easily done with a single day's work. And it seems like, miraculously, well, you've been awake for like 30 minutes and nothing has gone wrong yet.
I'm trained in crafting.
Oh, baby.
What's
good
the
news.
what's the DC?
It's a level 4 item, so it is 19.
Oh, okay, cool.
Good news is that you are also that level now. Welcome to level 4.
Oh,
Having successfully run down Howie Fontaine and, well, I'd say brought him to justice, but I don't know if that doesn't sound like it might be an actual accurate description of the things that are happening. Having saved Korvosa from yet another landslide into anarchy/destruction, I'd say you've more than earned it. And while you may have a little bit of time to yourself here, I would say it'd be wise to cherish it while you have it.
That's why
Ominous.
we're putting things on runestones.
Because, well, this certainly is not the end of Korvosa's troubles here. And there's still a lot more to come. Well, not a ton more, really.
Yeah.
We're making some progress in this first season of The Hook. There's not going to be a huge amount left. I want to talk about this very briefly because I was going to do it last week and we didn't actually get to do it on account of we didn't stream. I've left some little breadcrumbs, some little inklings about what we're doing. There's been some theory crafting.
I'm gonna
And
destroy
I
you.
will tell you the story of this new series. What I have here is the pocket guide to Curse the Crimson Throne. All 6 books. 6 books is not a hook. That's the whole ocean. We are doing the hook. We are going to do
The hook of the
first
book.
adventure. The hook to the adventure path as a whole. The first chapter of Curse the Crimson Throne. And that's what we're going to be doing going forward with the hook. I think it is going to be a super interesting adventure into a whole lot of different scenarios that allows us to play a myriad of different characters with different backgrounds, totally different setups. The thing we're going to be doing next for Season 2 is completely different. We've put some art spoilers up on Twitter at 2Perception and also in the Discord, discord.gg/squish, that you can see what is probably probably going to be the upcoming party for our next adventure in the Hook. And you might be able to put some guesses in towards what that is. But this does a lot of really good things for us. We get to play a whole bunch of adventures and a bunch of new characters. We don't have 90 episodes of baggage for a new viewer that is coming in. It's like, wow, I don't have any idea what's happening or how we got here. We don't get totally bogged down. And we get to go all over Galarian's Adventures, first edition and second. And if we find something we really super like, and you guys really super like, there's nothing stopping us from going from the Hook directly into a full-bore adventure.
So you mean Strange Aeons?
Don't tempt me.
I want to play it.
Don't you tempt me, boy.
Strange Aeon's really that good?
Yes.
So, look forward to that.
Horror.
The other upside is with a lot of the 3-book adventures and even 1-book things like Malevolence and the Slithering that Paizo puts out. It's not like we're going to be constantly resetting to level 1 because if we get tired of low-level adventures, there are plenty of things like Fist of the Ruby Phoenix literally starts at 11. There are higher-level books we can do. So it's not going to be restricted exclusively to super low-level adventures if you're worried about that. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're looking forward to bringing out even more 2Perception content in the future. We still got to finish Age of Ashes after all.
Gotta finish Age of Ashes,
And
man.
I want to do a lot.
Do not worry. Turoshik will be coming back.
A lot of other stuff. That's going to be it for us today, though. For once in this entire campaign, I guess I can leave you guys on a halfway decent happy note instead of a big cliffhanger.
We're
of-
level 4.
Yay!
I guess you can be happy for 1 week.
Boy bonding!
Happy every day. What are you talking about?
But join us next week, same place, twitch.tv/officialpaizo, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, for the 9th episode of The Hook, as we are going to come barreling down to the end of this first season of this adventure.
And the beach episode.
It's going to be a good time. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Good night.